Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. Uh, you know, you all know what to do when Shirts hasn't been here yet. You know what to do. You got to chant for him. That's how it works. You got to chant for him to actually get his butt in here. Let's go, America Shirts. What are you doing? America Shirts. America Shirts. America Shirts. We'll see how long it actually takes him to actually join us. It shouldn't be too far behind. He did say that he was going to actually join me tonight, so we'll see how long we can actually keep ourselves afloat on the YouTube before we actually shut YouTube off and go Rumble exclusive, because that's what we do when we start talking about certain topics that the YouTube doesn't like. So be ready for that transition. Be ready to actually get over to Rumble. That will be happening soon. Hi. And I have Tadpole with me, so as far as that goes, what's going on? Okay. You can go see Mom.
No.
Go bring that with you.
No.
No. Okay. Well, it should be interesting. It should be fun. Hey T3, I see you over there on that Rumble side. Just kind of hanging out here waiting for the America Shirts to actually bring himself in here. I'm actually going to get going with some of this news. I do have quite a few articles sitting here, quite a few interesting different topics to actually flow through. Doing pretty much a day of research, whatever, trying to actually get stuff ready for tonight. I did come across several articles. When I say several, I mean several. I think I gotta remove myself from a room so that I don't hear the. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Take myself out of that room. So, real quick, hello, Suzanne. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And hello, Elizabeth G. Anybody else that's actually sitting out in that audience, go ahead, say something. I interact with everybody that I possibly can, and that you'll at least get a hello as long as I caught it. Let's kind of get some stuff going here or whatever. I really just kind of, like I said, I got several articles up or whatever for today. China seriously preparing to invade Taiwan. Former Marine colonel says, so it's like when it comes down to it, it's kind of interesting. Hey, what's up, TR? Good to see you. It's kind of interesting that a former Marine colonel is actually, coming forward and actually explaining that China is seriously preparing to invade Taiwan. It's something that we've actually been looking at for quite some time. We've actually noticed over the last, several months of the movements by the China, in themselves, actually moving themselves into that the Taiwan area and taking up space. They've taken up a lot of space in the China Sea there, or whatever it is, right around the island of Taiwan.
You want to go on the base?
No.
No.
You don't think so? Okay. So it says China is seriously preparing for an invasion of Taiwan, according to Grant Newsham, a retired Marine colonel and a senior research fellow at the Japan Forum of Strategic Studies. China reportedly sent 42 warplanes and 8 naval vessels towards Taiwan on April 8th. We actually read that news article that actually did explain the warplanes and naval vessels that are actually deployed to that area via China. China's really seriously not going to sit around and wait. That's nothing that they're actually going to do. I was notify heaven. Why is that? $5 from Talking Trash and Truth over on the Rumble side. Says Tadpole. Yes, he's sitting right here with me. It doesn't look like he's ready to walk away from me, so he's going to actually probably hang out for most of the night. What's up, Pastor? Good to see you. And beautiful, awesome. I'm glad you're all over there. Like I said, anybody that hasn't brought themselves over to the Rumble side, we will eventually go exclusive. We will. Be ready. It's gonna happen. Um, to continue, it says Taiwanese President Xi Ing-wen's meeting with U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on April 5th in California. Beijing's actions came as the Chinese Communist Party military announced on April 8th that it was beginning a 3-day combat readiness patrols with joint sword exercises around Taiwan involving police patrols. During the drills, dozens of Chinese warplanes were spotted crossing the median line of the Taiwan Strait in Taiwan's southwest. Good job. Southwest ADIS. I really don't know. This is like an airspace that they're not supposed to actually cross. They're actually not supposed to be in that area, and it really seriously, you continue to do something that you're not supposed to do, and you're going to start turmoil. Even on April 11th, after its 3-day military exercises, the regime's provocative military actions continued. They've effectively said that this mutually agreed upon demarcation line down the middle of the Taiwan Strait doesn't matter, and they don't recognize it. And they're now flying their aircraft across it all the time. Newsom recently told China in Focus on NTD, the Epoch Times sister media outlet. It all intended to build up Chinese capabilities to launch an effective and successful attack on Taiwan. So everything you're seeing here is not a one-shot deal where China is just flexing its muscles to get Taiwan to sort of back off a bit to get the Americans to back off. America's not going to back off. America's not going to back off any of that. Squish him. Ooh, squishy, squishy. Squishy, squishy. Yes, like she said, hit that thumbs up button. Hit the like button if you're over on the YouTube side. Show that love. Show the support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. To continue here, so then it says Americans to back off. No, it's not going to get America to back off. It's not going to get anybody to back off. China is not going to be successful in getting anybody to back off on it. So this is much as a baseball team goes through spring training before the real season begins, he said the CCP is warming up for a real war. This is all much more significant than just a few-day exercise, he noted, urging we should take the Chinese seriously. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you take them seriously? They're not sitting there with kid gloves on. They're sitting there with machines of war sitting right on that DMZ, sitting there crossing lines like it's okay. It's not okay. Hello, Susie. Hello, Tweety. Glad you're here. Like I said, anybody that's popping in here, be ready to actually get yourself over to Rumble. Eventually, I'm going to try staying here as long as I possibly can on the YouTube side. Anybody that's watching, please hit that like button. Newsom pointed at China's launch of 5 missiles reportedly landed in Japan's exclusive economic zone during the live fire drills around Taiwan, following then U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi visit to the island in August 2022. So if you remember when Nancy Pelosi actually took this trip, she was advised not to go. That China would have something to do with it, and they would not allow her to actually go. Now, she took a special trip that went and entered the island from a different direction than what most assumed that she would. Is like they flew out of their way to actually bring her onto that island. As far as that goes, they also threatened McCarthy for the same reason. They threatened McCarthy for the same Rumble. Yes, we are currently live on Rumble as well. Looks like there's a few people sitting over there. Those few that are sitting over there, looks like have hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead, make sure you smash it if you hadn't already. We're gonna be here for quite. It looks like 15 people over there. There are more people sitting over on Rumble watching than there are on YouTube, and that's something. That's amazing. Thank you all so very much. Um, the movie said would send a message to Japanese that China could isolate Taiwan anytime they wanted. I mean, they can. It's not that far away. It's not that far away. They can surround the island within moments. It's really not going to take them that long for them to do that. Nonetheless, anything else that they decided to do. So it says testing reaction. He predicted that next fall the communist regime will practice an actual landing exercise for an actual invasion. It's part of a sequence of steps by the Chinese to build up their capabilities to attack Taiwan. But also at the same time, they're testing Taiwan's reactions, testing America's reaction, the international community's reaction, and the Europeans' reaction as well. And, China's, as it says, testing reactions from multiple different, countries, such as Taiwan itself to, America, and it says Americas, so when it comes down to it, it's just like, you're testing everybody. You really are. Hey, Leslie Kohler, good to see you. Glad you're here. Snoozy Lose over on the Rumble side says, gave some love on the Rumble side. Thank you so much. Thank you. It says testing reactions though of all these different countries and regions or whatever to actually see what kind of reaction you're going to get, especially when you're already supposedly backing Russia at the same time in their war against Ukraine. It's really something to actually see how far the CCP is really trying to go with this. In his opinion, the CCP cannot tolerate the freedom of the island as Taiwan is functioning as a very good, healthy democracy, consensual government, freedom of press, freedom of speech. I mean, you see anything that come out of Taiwan or whatever, and you see American flags. You see lots of American flags almost everywhere. What's up, Jess? Good to see you. Given the island's strategic location, controlling the island would allow the Chinese military to operate freely, swing up north, surround Japan, swing down to the south, and it could isolate Australia from America and the rest of Asia. So, I mean, they're really actually kind of pushing it really far, where they're actually trying to say that they can actually isolate a lot of area away from the from America, from the United States side of things or whatever. So I mean, when you're able to actually bring yourself to the point of actually potentially surrounding all these areas, they have to realize and have to actually see that the United States isn't just sitting around twiddling their thumbs. They've been doing their own exercises in and around that area for a long time. We've read several articles about them actually doing such a thing. And I believe I do have another one where it says that we're actually doing joint exercises with the likeness of Japan. So when you actually see that the United States isn't going to sit around, they're actually going to do a lot. So this is China's objectives are much more broader than just the Western Pacific. The idea is to lock up the entire Pacific, get the Americans out of there, and when the Atlantic and Indian Ocean are at play as well as are in play as well as we talk. So I mean, they're Atlantic, Indian, Pacific. Just like they're everywhere. They're not going to just sit around. This is a blow to U.S. prestige. Says Newsham said that the loss of Taiwan to China would be a blow to the U.S. prestige. If Taiwan is allowed to be enslaved, it shows that the American military, with all its might, couldn't keep Taiwan free. Shows that American economic and political financial power couldn't prevent China from taking Taiwan. Nobody on earth is going to take American promises of support and protection seriously after that. It would just be a huge blow to America and everything it stands for. He pointed to China's brokering of a peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran in March and its peace proposal for a ceasefire in Ukraine. It's entirely a charade by the Chinese, but it does tend to present them as peacemakers. They're not peacemakers. There's nothing that actually says anything close to China being peacemakers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Good job.
Thanks.
And the Chinese play on this all the time, arguing that, well, America's democracy, Western values, these are useless. These are not good. And the Chinese approach, the communist approach, is the better one. It's this ascended one. The Americans are one on the downswing, he said. So we are on a political fight and a psychological fight as much as military one. So I mean, as far as China goes, they're not sitting there, fucking around. They're actually swinging hard, and it's going to come real quick. This isn't something that's just going to be us in one night. This is something they've been working on. They've been working on this for a while. They've been working on this for quite a while. So, though I'm waiting for one, I'm going to actually bring somebody else in here to actually come speak with me for a little bit. Let's see if she's willing to check your Discord, T3. Do you think Trump would win? I really don't know if Trump's really going to actually win, though I want him to, or though I would most likely vote for him under, current circumstances. That might be something that might be looking at and paying attention to this in the next year or so. There's going to be a lot of things.
You there?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little spotty.
Spotty. Did you get your meds ready?
Yes, I got my meds and I already passed my gibberish portion, so we're good.
Oh, okay. So when you finally decide to actually doze off, as opposed to just leaving you sit there, I'll probably end up bumping you. So
good.
Yeah, I'll be nice. I'll be nice to you tonight. Do that for you. Because I know that I didn't last night. I left you in there, and then
Oh, you just can't stand to be apart from me. That's all right. I understand.
No,
I'm wonderful.
Always.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so.
I got so much going on.
Thing.
Speaking of China and Taiwan at the moment.
China.
Yep, China. It's all about China. It's been about China for quite some time. It's not going to go away. There's nothing you can do about it. I've been warning you for several years now, and I'm going to warn you for several more when I actually come back. China, China, China.
What would you say?
Yeah.
Something about China? I wasn't listening.
Tadpole says, yeah, China.
China, yeah, China. Duh.
Yeah, China.
Good boy.
That's so smart.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
So
then, wait, who are you waiting on exactly?
Shirts.
Ah.
He said that he was actually going to show up. So
he better. He knows that I'm like, I love seeing him on here. Love having conversations with him.
Tweety says China, vagina. Hey, Fast Group, what's going on, bro?
Yeah. China.
You can turn it into a Pokemon song.
Yeah. I like China.
You like China, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, Lord. No.
Yeah, we don't like China.
We don't like China.
No.
Well, China don't like us.
We don't want nothing to do with China.
We love their child labor laws.
Oh yeah, the Muslim Uyghurs, the way they treat them, that's just the best. I wish they'd treat us the same way.
Well, these one-way relationships suck. Like, oh God.
Let's see here. A couple more things on China
China.
before we actually move on to anything else. I do have a. If you actually seen the title, this is China train derailments. There's several, and then there's some leaks, government leaks that have actually occurred in the last few days.
What are they living in a parallel universe with us?
I know, right?
Did they shoot down another balloon, or was that part of the leaks document?
Oh, there's something about several other balloons
Jesus Christ.
that have been um, seen but not spoke of.
Oh.
Like they're keeping it a hush hush on some of it because they don't want
Well,
everybody
because
to know about
freaked
all of it.
out before. What if they are
Koolfrogg, his speech is
weather
getting so much
balloons?
better. He's growing too fast. Make it stop. He's so smart and he's doing so well. I'm not. No, he's got to grow. He's gonna be. He's
I
just
thought
so
you said
smart.
he's got a girl. I was like, oh, geez, he
No,
really is like a
he's
smart
got to
kid.
grow. He's gonna continue to grow. So he's so
God,
smart.
he's so tall.
He really is. He's super tall
He
for
really
his
is.
age.
He's a beanpole.
Heidi, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you.
Heidi, 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 ho. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. Hey.
Hey.
I'm in such a good mood.
How many balloons have been launched from China from Tweetios News? Several. Apparently, there's so many of them that they've actually not even spoke of. That it's just
They just
it's
lost track of them.
almost just a regular occurrence now. It's nothing that you really.
But what if they are weather balloons? I mean, they follow my train of thought. We have had nothing but wonky fucking weather since these things showed up. What if they're not weather detecting balloons, but like they create some like triangulation or signal to each other to create weather?
That's an interesting thought because there's potential that if we've been doing such a thing for a long time of actually controlling the weather.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something that's us and you're like, oh,
I
that's
mean,
something
come
new,
on, 90 degrees here
right?
in the beginning of April. What the fuck? And the last time that happened here was 1941. What happened right after that? I wonder.
So you remember I said like what 2-3 days ago or whatever we went from about 45 degrees we jumped up to
Yep.
about 70. Now it's back down to 30 again
Yep, and
during the
tomorrow
day.
it's going to be like 50 and raining. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What the hell? Right, the
I
fog
literally
is
watched the
ridiculous.
fog roll in like I live in San Francisco. That shit has never happened here. Not at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 6 o'clock when I was doing the thing with Nerd, and I'm watching. I'm like, the building just disappeared. What the fuck? Where'd it go? Because I was like, it's like we're living in a cloud. I am at below sea level, so I should not be in the cloud. And it just rolled slow as shit too. So it was like terrifying. I was waiting for it to get to the hospital, and then all of a sudden it just gone. And I was like, where'd it go? Because I could see the building, but it lasted like a good 45 minutes, and then just dissipated. I was like, that's spooky. Like
Leslie Kohler.
Weird.
Leslie Kohler for $25 says,
Ooh.
"Love your channel. Thank you so much, Jared. That's the best. Thank you,
Good
thank you,
stroke
thank you."
his ego. He likes that, among other things. If you have a hand for it. Just saying.
Oh
beard.
my lord!
You love to
The
stroke
beard,
the beard.
the 10 inches
God,
of beard.
where
I
did-
mean, it
Oh,
has to be
10
more than 10 now. I have to
Yes.
pluck another
Oh,
hair
I'm
and measure
sure.
it out.
All that stroking, it's got to be longer, Daddy. It's got to be longer. Yummy.
So then, to kind of get back to the China stuff, whatever. So then, there's this thing here, or whatever. So this here says tracking China's April 2023 military exercises around Taiwan. So now we kind of spoke of what was actually going on, that they're actually sitting at the DMZ and they've actually keep on crossing it anyway. They're doing their thing. They're not
Mm-hmm.
stopping. They're going to continue. They're going to continue to do, whatever they can to go after Taiwan and actually eventually what they would call it was probably be liberated and turn it back
Mm.
into a communist island as opposed to the quote unquote democracy that it is now, right?
Well, they would re-welcome them into the fold.
Oh yeah, just
It's
welcome them.
yes,
Yeah,
we'll take them back. Like it's
they
their choice.
they won't do anything close to what they're doing with
No,
the Uyghurs, but yeah, they'll
but they're
just
running like
open
daily
arms.
drills over there, right? Like missile drills. They've been doing it for like 3 days now, right?
3 days.
3 days they've been doing like military drills, like with missiles over Taiwan.
Oh yeah, no, they've been actually running drills for quite some time, and
Oh yeah, but the last is like they do it in little spurts. They don't
yeah,
constantly do.
no,
You
right.
said like
They'll
they
do a
started
couple
like
this
three
week,
days
maybe a
ago,
couple
like
next
nonstop.
week. They'll wait a few
Yeah,
weeks, and then they'll do another set. It's like they right, just playing. Like we're testing things. It's okay.
I mean, think about it. You think about living in a country where you never know if there's going to be missiles going over your head. What if one of them decides to be like, "Fuck it, I'm just going to drop here"? That's got to be high tension, high anxiety living, and you never know when it's going to happen. God, that's like the kid that has to go to mom and dad, and they're fighting over the kid. That's terrible. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're okay. So then
Okay.
this is the timeline of key Chinese military and related activities. Now this is just April. This is not, and they've been doing this for a lot longer than just April. This is just the stuff that they've been doing in April in the month. So you say every single day they've done something a little bit further to put themselves within play of actually doing something major. So this is the People's Liberation Army Eastern Theater Command reported that it sent a Type uh, 054A frigate as well as guided missile destroyer as and some other destroyers to the area to actually run exercise over the East China Sea. So this is reported that the Combined Arms Brigade, the PLA ground force based in Guangdong, received a large delivery of Type 08 wheeled armored vehicles, which are necessary for rapid reaction combat, including rapid deployment and mobilized assault missions. According to the announcement by the Longning Maritime Safety Administration, military exercises in the Yellow Sea and Bohai region began on April 2nd and continued through April 9th. This is on Monday, April 3rd. It was reported that the Hainan, a Type 075 amphibious assault ship, carried out a joint sea air exercise in waters in the west of China's Guangdong province. Official Chinese media directly linked this and other exercise to Tsai's planned meeting with McCarthy. So they're like, okay, we know that McCarthy's coming through. McCarthy's slated to come through, and they don't want him there. They don't want him there just as much as they didn't want Pelosi there,
Mm.
because it's bolstering their quote unquote democracy to allow these people to actually show up.
Yeah.
You gotta go get one. I don't have any in your glass, Mom. Hmm?
You don't want to leave you.
He's like, nah, I spend all day with Mom.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Right.
I want to
So,
be with you.
so then on the 4th, it says 14 PLA aircraft and 3 naval vessels. Now we read this article, this particular article where they actually this military might. Oh, look who's here! It's a shirt.
It's shirts.
Oh,
Aw.
hi. How's it going?
Hi, honey. How are you?
Remove me.
Oh, because I wanted to
Aw.
be on top.
Ooh, ooh. Fresh.
You know what you're talking about there, bro.
So I don't know, but I mean, I think Frog would prefer me in the middle if you're going to be on top, because he don't want that.
I mean, I mean, I suppose we can,
Well, maybe he
we
doesn't
can,
like.
you know.
He likes men.
No, no, nope, not true. So then, what's up, Caitlin? Good to see you, dear. And the White Rabbit. White Rabbit says, "Hey, I wanted to stop by and say hello. Glad that you hit that like button for me while you're there. Go over to the Rumble side of things and hit that thumbs up over there as well. Looks like Vicky T is actually sitting over on the Rumble side. Hey, Vicky, how you doing, dear?
Yeah, I was talking to them in the Discord. I got a little caught behind with that because I figured out that Melissa is Orthodox. She's Orthodox Christian because her husband Mad Max is Greek Orthodox. So then they're celebrating Easter over there. So
You talking
we
about
got to
Melissa
talking
Jane?
about some of that stuff.
Melissa Jane.
Yes, Melissa Jane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because there's a couple that I know. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. So, Shirts, would you like me to hop out so you can have a little boys thing? I have no problem hopping out.
Oh, I don't care.
You don't care? All right, then I'll just sit here and hold my 19.
Right.
Oh, and
Okay.
how are you, T3? Are you home or are you
No, I'll be home tomorrow. Hopefully.
tomorrow?
I mean,
Okay.
they said tomorrow. I'm going to hold them to that. I have no IVs in, so I'm pretty sure they're sending my ass home. So
All
I'm
right,
happy.
cool.
I'm so thrilled. I'm so hyper. Like, I'm in such a good mood. I want to hug everybody. But I do. I
There you
want to
go.
hug everybody. So, all right.
And make
Enough
that-
about me. Frog, go ahead.
all right. So as we're speaking of all the military things that are actually happening right around Taiwan or whatever, you can see there's 7 little dots that have actually showed different things that they've actually done in the region or whatever. So you can see live fire exercises there are marked out, as well as placements of ships and destroyers, as well as multiple others. You see there's a lot on that map. That's enough position really in itself to start an offense on Taiwan and still negate anything that comes from any other country, such as the United States. So I mean, we could really be looking at something bigger than what we even expected to happen with this island and China. So then you can see here on the 5th, it says China announced a 3-day special joint patrol and inspection operation in the central and northern areas of Taiwan Strait. As part of the operation, Chinese maritime law enforcement officials were tasked with conducting on-site inspections aboard vessels in the Taiwan Strait, but there were no reports of such on-site inspections taking place. The operation was led by China's first large-scale patrol vessel in the Taiwan Strait. Vessels from the Fujian Maritime Safety Administration, East China Sea Rescue Bureau, and East China Sea Maritime Security Center joined. Notably, the first law enforcement patrol embarked and occurred around then Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So they did a bunch of things back then, and they're going to continue to escalate this. Like I said, they're actually not wanting McCarthy to show up either. They don't want him there. They don't want anything. They don't want anybody to actually go and throw any kind of confidence into Taiwan, so that way they can keep them on the down and have that upper hand over and above everything that happens in Taiwan.
But I think at a higher level, because of the Nancy Pelosi trip, and now even Kevin McCarthy's now doing public meetings with the head of Taiwan in the United States. I think what is it, the Prime Minister or whatever. They want some finagliness to go on because they want there to be this saber rattling, let's go crazy, Cold War style with China now. So I don't know exactly how all of this will work itself out, but I do think that at a higher level, the people who are, our lovely committee of 300, you might say, since we're talking about it yesterday, I think they don't want an actual conflict, but they want the saber rattling to continue the building of the technocracy stuff. So it's not to say that there's no concern, because Xi Jinping is trying to do his own thing. So I don't I don't know what he would just haul off and try and do. I think he kind of knows who's in charge. I think he kind of knows who the bosses are. But at the same time, he's been doing a lot of things that have made them a little ticked off. So, at a higher level perspective of this, from the elite's perspective, um, yeah, I still hold to my position. I don't think they actually want a war, but I think they want everybody else to think that. So that we do the saber rattling, then we get more funding to the military industrial complex and to the CIA and all these different things to keep things going as they build their technocratic, crazy NWO type thing.
Fear has
So
many uses.
what's that?
Fear has many uses.
Indeed, it
It
does.
motivates. It hides. It obfuscates. However the fuck you say that word. Like it creates like a smoke screen. You could use it however you want if you know how to wield it, which they do.
Yeah.
Our government definitely does. Russia definitely does. China, in their place, if we look at them and we think, oh my God, they're coming for us, we're losing everything, yeah, no problem. There's plenty of fear. I'm more worried when the anger kicks in. Because when we're vengeful, we lose all fucking logic. And that's what I'm worried about.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Good perspective. Yes, Micah, hang on. We have no obligation nor leverage when it comes to Taiwan. I mean,
or most any other country as well, right?
right, but
and
like,
we invested so much in it and we have no say whatsoever. That's
well, right. I mean, but the thing with Taiwan too is like we have, as you say, we've invested so much into Taiwan, not only economically but also militarily,
yep.
and we have all kinds of things over there. And
Mm-hmm.
if China was to try and do some sort of an invasion, they couldn't hardly get anywhere close to the island across the strait because they would have to, because like all of their boats would be blown out of the water because they have so much defenses built up there that like half their army would get blown out of the water and thrown into the sea before they could even get there if they were actually going to do a full-blown land invasion. So they have to do some kind of maneuvering in and of itself to even try and do this thing with Taiwan as we're talking about. And so they're doing like, drills and this and that. But the only way I think that you could really get Taiwan is to just keep it all closed off from the rest of the world for like time and memoriam until they just collapse. That would be the
Well, a
only way.
siege. That's what they used to do, right? They would lay
Siege, yes.
siege to a castle and
Yep.
they could, okay, we know you have 20 days worth of food. So we have 30. We got 10 days on you. We'll outlast you. We will, you go on a hunger strike. You do whatever. Ration it. We'll still outlast you. And that's the thing. China's doing that. They're creating like that kind of atmosphere. But what is Taiwan doing? We talk about like we're going to do this. What is Taiwan doing? Like what
Well,
are
they're
they
just
saying?
agreeing with us, I think, for the most part.
But see, you think I never hear things like directly from somebody there.
Well, see
Yeah,
now,
it's like a proxy of us, right? Like
they,
it's
Mhm.
always
right, they do have somebody that's actually made themselves off the island of Taiwan and actually moved themselves around the world, whatever, and did several different um, meetups and whatever. Though they say it didn't make an official stop here in the States, he still stopped here in the States and actually did talk to a couple people.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is a representative out there that's actually doing things, but who's the representative? Is it a U.S. citizen?
Mhm.
Because that's a good chance that's what it is it's a U.S. citizen that's actually got this position. I can't say specifically that it is for sure, but you could almost assume that if we're going to
There's
have
a
something to
high
do with it,
probability.
right, that
Yeah.
most likely there's some kind of ties to the United States.
Oh, Mike Gohagan, he says here in the chat, he says, expecting Taiwan to fight off China is as ludicrous as it ever was that Ukraine would defeat Russia in sanity. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're looking at it from, and now again, like I said, if they were just to try to like go full blown, just send in all the the troops and like send them across there, or even send them in through
That would
airplanes or
defeat
whatever.
the fucking purpose of taking them back, though, because they want them for the money.
Oh yeah, oh
They don't
yeah.
want to destroy anything over there because they want that income, man. That's the whole thing. That's communism. What you have belongs to me. Like, oh gee, okay. But
I know communism requires a perpetual capital by which to steal from.
yeah,
So it
because
like
how else would they
inevitably
support
goes into
themselves
this.
without like the free wealth? They need
Right.
that tree in the back that grows the money. That's Taiwan. Taiwan is their money tree. All right, I'm gonna mute
No,
myself
you're okay.
because
So
No,
then,
it's
no, no,
so
no,
then
no,
to
because
continue the
the
article real
pressure
quick.
machine makes it go nutty. So I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
okay.
The Anyang frigate had been caught sailing around the region, several different places in between China and Taiwan, and then back up into Okinawa area, through those same couple days. On the April 7th, you can see that there's some other exercise live fire drills that were held in the northern coast of Pingtang Island. On the 10th for 13 hours. The exercise zone covers an area of approximately 39 kilometers. Is the closest point to exercise zone is approximately 30 kilometers from Dongzhou Island, the southernmost island of Taiwan's Matsu Islands. However, the announcement is later removed from the MSA website, raising questions whether the exercises took place. So though it was announced that they took place, they're really not positive that they actually took place. So they were still pretty close, pretty adamant to say 13 hours as opposed to around 12 or anything. They're like, but we don't know. We have no clue what exactly happened, which is kind of strange in itself. But you can see for the last, half a month that they've been actually running several exercises, several live fire exercises in and around the region to show, show force. And that's pretty much the way I'm looking at it. Though they're not saying they're actually going to do anything, technically, though they're actually running drills, it's like North Korea running drills on Japan. And Japan's just going to sit there and take it? Nah, not going to happen. So then it goes through and it actually goes through, different, deployments of different, there's destroyer. This one we actually covered. There's a 42 aircraft and 8 other vessels that were put into a certain area right near Taiwan. So they do have quite the military might sitting in and around that area around Taiwan. This isn't something that's, they're not going to. I mean, look how close it is to China. It's this island is not that far away for them to not be running drills in the area anyway. You'd almost think that almost everyone would be running some kind of a drill. And you can see there's lots. Look at the spike in exercises in April compared to almost any other times. And you can see this one says 2022 was the last time that it was that many active aircraft, naval vessels in and around that area. On the final day of the joint sword exercises, CCTV noted that drills focused on joint shock and deterrence of the island's closure and control. The emphasized maneuvers to cut off access to the island from the seas east of Taiwan. Several destroyers and frigates carried out suppressive combat patrol missions and joint blockade simulations. And the Shandong Aircraft Carrier Group participated in the final day of the drill after the waters from the waters east of Taiwan. The carrier group consisted of 1 destroyer, 1 Type 52 destroyer, 2 Type 54 frigates, a Type 901 replenishment ship, and there were likely a nuclear-powered attack sub as well. So, lots of military might in and around this area, and they're not going to stop. It doesn't look like it. And as you can see, they continue to actually almost every single day throw more and more, stuff at it. So there's a timeline in here for diplomatic and non-military activities as well. So you can see there's, throughout this month, there's been lots of activity coming out of China and involving Taiwan. So I mean, if we think that Taiwan's not going to go anywhere, I really think that we're mistaken. I really do. I kind of sort of think personally that there might be something happen within a short period of time as opposed to not. Now I could be wrong, so don't say, "Oh my God, he said that." Yeah,
How dare
no,
you?
I could always be wrong. There's always
How dare
think about
you have an opinion? How
that,
dare
right? How dare I?
you are not entitled to your opinion, nor your own facts. Nothing. Anyway,
23,936,393 against a billion that if every man and
No,
woman
Rosa,
and
I'm not
child in
doing the show.
Taiwan fought. Thanks, Mike. The billion man army. They don't need to blow up anything. Right. Right. For them to actually blow up anything would be ridiculous because why, I mean, though they can, rebuild whatever they want in, record time, why would you? Why would you want to rebuild anything? You're going to want to take it as it is and,
They're
keep
gonna want
most of
all
it
those
intact.
assets.
Right.
Yeah, if they're gonna bomb anything in Taiwan, it's gonna be something completely innocuous or vacant or like an empty field, just as a show of power.
Right. Hit an airport or something to disallow aircraft to land or, something.
Or just something just to say, look, we can hit you. It's like
Right.
when you clap your hands in front of somebody's face but don't hit them, and they realize, oh my god, he really could have fucking hit me. Like that kind of fucking thing.
yeah. The other angle to this, though, that you could think about is like, what would happen if they tried to bomb Taiwan with things? Would they think that it would be worth more while to lose the assets that are there and to try to crumble Western assets that are in Taiwan with like chip making
That's
and all the rest of it? What
so
would be
you're
the
saying like
risk
pride over
benefit
money?
ratio of that? What's that?
If you're that's more like pride over money.
Well, I mean, but like if the
That's
other
like a
guy's lower
Japanese
than
thing, though.
you don't have to be as high. And so it's like, what
Yeah.
would be the long term benefit of just bombing that, just being rid of it, and then just doing it yourself, and then the other guy doesn't have anything?
I mean,
You
that's
know,
something that Japan would do. Japan would take out their own like asset so that nobody else could have it. Just as a point of pride. You didn't take this from us. We destroyed it. Our terms. That's a Japanese thing. The Chinese, I don't know that they do that so much. They're more just like, just don't pay attention to us, and we have all this shit now. It's weird.
yeah.
Um, what's that, Susie? Whose house is Ukraine? What? So
What?
think about someone occupying our house. Think of Ukraine and Russia. Same analogy. I mean,
Well, except that Ukraine claimed not to have any kind of weapons or way to defend themselves, and Taiwan is armed to the teeth. Is
right.
what brains. Instead of calling you shirt, I called you America Brains. That's funny. Because that's how I think of you. You're the brainy one. It's like, oh god. You're lucky I don't call you Brainy Smurf because you got all that blue going on. So it's like, okay.
Oh my.
I would love that. Oh my goodness. Um, but no, according to him, like they're armed to the teeth. So you just gotta hope they don't slip and panic one day, think they're being attacked, attack back, and actually be the attacker. Because I could see somebody tricking them like that.
Fast Group
Yeah.
sitting over on the Rumble side says we're in a Cold War on two fronts. Be we're going to be the kickoff, or what's going to be the kickoff for World War III. I mean, pretty much feel that we're already pretty much uh, looking at that. Like we're already in that door. As
Yeah.
Ukraine's already, something. and you look at all these movements from China into Taiwan. You look at the movements like this article. B-52 bombers train with the Japanese, South Korean fighters after North Korea ICBM launch. When you actually see everything that's actually occurring, it kind of just seems we're already there. We're
Well, we're in
there.
a
There's
bureaucratic war,
Right.
and it's a game of chicken. You don't think so? That's what it feels like. It feels like we're rushing at each other, and we're going so slow. Like we're going fast, but going so slow, and nobody's gonna want to turn
Nobody
away.
wants to be the first one to actually say, "Oh, they're the ones that started it."
Yeah,
It's a Cold War.
Right.
I mean
So
that's what you get with a Cold War. You get
Yep.
words,
true. Right.
like a lot of words, and we pay the price.
I mean, I think the article is pretty much straightforward when you actually look at the title on that. B-52 bombers. So you got United States, Japan, and South Korea. We've talked about North Korea throwing ICBMs as well as other missiles in and around the area, dumping them into the sea like it's nothing. It's not going to harm it. It's not going to destroy the ecosystem in that area or none of that. Don't worry, it's okay. It's really kind of disturbing in itself to actually think this is how far we've actually gone. We were actually running joint exercises with Japan, with South Korea to actually know what to have some kind of offense when it comes to North Korea. So you're looking at
I mean,
Russia,
Trump was talking
Ukraine,
to the head of North
China,
Korea.
Taiwan, North Korea, Japan. They kind of throw in there that Australia because they're like, oh, it's in the area, and China really has some kind of holdover when it comes to Australia. Like they're going to actually change things in Australia without a thought. Frog, you are the voice we need. I'm glad you feel that way. Thank you, Leslie.
Aw, that's nice.
Let's see. There's a couple more.
Oh, Leslie says she has a new TV. Sweet.
Awesome. I think I had a couple more things on this whole offensive before we actually get into like documents and or derailments. There's been a couple more derailments with toxic stuff, as well as cleanup, stuff that actually from East Palestine that's actually failed. They actually tipped a truck over. There's lots of different things to actually look at.
Oh,
here.
wonderful.
So we got several articles. Yeah.
Cool.
How wonderful. Right?
Love it.
I can't.
He's like, yay!
Oh, wait, let me get really excited. Rah rah. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Right.
I mean, you don't want me to get too excited. I want to be able to go home tomorrow.
Heck yeah. That's the
You don't
fun
want
one.
my
Right?
breath to
Waiting
come
for
up,
that to
come on.
actually happen.
I mean, already he was like, your heart rate's a little high. I'm like, blame them. Yeah, they get me. You'd be all right. My pressure was good, 110/60, so we're good.
Yeah, cool.
Actually, perfect.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Send my ass home. Because these beds are not comfortable. Like, they're just not. Bro.
I've been working on this all day since I woke up at noon. I've been working on this for all day, and the one thing I didn't get a chance to actually do is actually reorganize the articles so they actually made sense. They actually flowed right into each other. So, like I said, I've been working on this since noon. So, only about 9.5 hours worth of messing around trying to figure stuff out to create a show. So then one more thing on China before we move on to some other stuff.
Let's say China.
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 If we say China enough, eventually maybe people will actually hear us when we say China.
China.
But they have
China.
the tendency
Yes.
just they hear it and they let it go in one ear, out the other, like it doesn't make any sense. They're just like, "What's China? We have no clue what the fuck that is."
No, I love my boys. You both like make my heart happy. Ah.
um, here you go.
China. China. I love China.
China says it hopes and believes Germany will support
I
its
keep calling you
peaceful
Brains. I guess
reunification
that's your nickname.
of Taiwan.
That's gonna have to be your nickname because my brain keeps supplying that one word. Brains. Brains. I don't know why.
Brains.
Brains.
If America Shirts had anything, he might just have the brains.
He has brains. Yes.
Well,
We're gonna have to go with it
that
for
and
today.
a lot of
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you're
a lot of
Because that's the only thing I can think of that goes with brains. What, brawn? Nah. Brain and balls. There you go. You're a ballsy, brainy one.
Balls. Big, huge, hairy balls.
Balls or no balls, always balls. It's always balls. I don't know why people would ever say no balls.
Susie says, I mean, by sending soldiers and that so they can put more control over the citizens of the world. This is what wars do. Put the citizens under the government's thumb. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like we're not already under the government's thumb. We should only worry about America's. That's my geopolitical position, and perhaps should correct some evils from our collective past. China. I mean,
They gotta be good.
China.
China. Oh, Lord. Oh, my good.
I actually haven't heard him say China for a while.
Because I haven't heard him say anything for a while. I missed
I
the
mean,
last thing.
right since this, yeah, he
I'm
really
in an
hasn't
alternate universe over here, so.
since the indictment because he did the thing in at Mar-a-Lago right afterward.
All right. I mean, that's the biggest issue. So, yeah.
Right.
This whole thing is ridiculous.
The whole thing is, because as you can see, like this article is how ridiculous it is. That China says it hopes and believes Germany will support a peaceful reunification with Taiwan. What's Germany have to do with
What?
it?
Yeah, since when are they involved?
Right. So wait a minute. What? You're hoping that Germany does what for you, and why do you need Germany to support your takeover of something such as an island of Taiwan? What's Germany have to do with it? Germany has zero things to do with Taiwan in my thoughts. But okay. So this is a
Well,
Chinese government.
economically, you could say,
I guess.
trade and the rest
What's
of it.
this landlocked region of Germany gonna do?
Well, Germany's not landlocked for one. I mean,
Are they not? Oh, wait, no, you're right. The Baltic Sea. They have that little area where they're actually connected up there. You're right.
Yeah, and they're the biggest economy in Europe is Germany. So
No.
as far as that's concerned, it would be like an economic thing because they're looking at it like like they did with Russia, because of all of the sanctions and all the rest of it. They're like, hey, they wouldn't mind us taking a little Taiwanese islands.
So Michael Hagen says they're tied to Russia and China. I mean, is Germany tied to Russia and China? I mean,
they were economically to Russia for the
I mean,
longest
there was
time
the
there
whole,
until all this.
Berlin Wall and everything else.
well, until this Nord Stream thing, right?
I mean, just
'Cause
because the
you'd
wall
think
came
that
down
would-
doesn't mean that anybody backed off. So Russia still has its tentacles all in Germany. They do. I mean, they pretty much have their tentacles spread across Europe. So I'm surprised they're having as much blowback as they got. The only
Well, I
thing
mean,
that
yeah,
would do
they
that
only
is everybody getting together so that they could basically overpower them. I don't see that happening.
They took the only point of leverage away from Russia over Germany to try to,
Which was?
get them to the pipeline.
Mm.
Now it's basically nothing, and so they've been sending tanks. Good old NATO, good old Pentagon.
Well, NATO makes decisions so well.
North America is the whole damn continent. Yes, Canada is part of North America. The United States of America is also part of that, right?
I
And
don't understand
Mexico.
what we got to there.
I really don't either.
Anywho's,
So to continue here, it says Wang Yi, China's top diplomat, made comments to the statement shared by the Chinese Foreign Ministry on Saturday, stating that he hopes and believes the European country will support its peaceful reunification with Taiwan. During a meeting in German Foreign Minister Elena Baerbock of China, Wang said that China once supported the reunification of Germany.
wait. We got to do this. We got to do this in an Asian accent. Yeah. To maintain stability in Taiwan Strait, it is necessary to firmly oppose separatist movements and activities. I can't even do this. Related to Taiwan independence. One.
Wang added that Taiwan's
Return to China
is the important part of the post World War II international order. Baerbock said on Friday that any attempt for China to gain control of Taiwan would come with serious repercussions for Europe.
A military escalation in the Taiwan Strait would through which 50% of world trade goes every day would be a hard scenario for the entire world.
Said Baerbock. Baerbock added that the potential military escalation would have.
Wait a minute. Are we misreading this? Baerbock? That's the German guy, right? So I just read off the German guy in an Asian accent. Did I just do that?
No. Is it? Is that what's going on?
No,
oh
look
yeah,
at him.
yeah.
He's definitely Asian.
The German foreign minister. Yeah.
So it is the German.
I mean, in China, so they have to be speaking Chinese. So you're okay.
They're just representing Germany.
Right.
But this last sentence was from Baerbock.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. She's the representative for Germany in China.
And
but she's not. But she's not Asian.
How do you know?
Because she right there. Right.
Look at her face. She's
German foreign minister.
She's German as hell. She looks mad.
She had no squinty eyes.
Yeah, no, she's saying Fila. Like, yeah, no, she's right there. She's got the wrong color hair. Well, not for Hitler, but whatever. Are we still on YouTube? Jesus Christ.
Yes, we are.
Man with the tiny mustache.
Oh, Christ. You're lucky that I have such an accent because half the shit gets missed. It gets misinterpreted.
Let's see. Her comments were seemingly at odds that the President Emmanuel Macron said following a trip to China on Sunday, urging Europe to avoid following the American rhythm in Taiwan. So I mean,
we have a rhythm.
Apparently,
white people don't have rhythm. They don't. And it's run by white people. Biden is white. I'm not white. I'm Italian. These hips move. Okay? And they move to a rhythm. But no, these white people can't. No, they got no rhythm. What the fuck's he talking about? And if you ever saw a Chinese person dance, they got no rhythm either. They don't. Look up one of their damn dance videos. Nope, nothing. Twinkle toes. That's all they got.
So let's see. Let's continue. We don't want to get to the block versus Block versus block logic. Macron said during an interview with Last Echo, adding that Europe should not be caught up in disordering the world in crises that aren't ours. The question asked of us Europeans is the following: is it in our interest for there to be acceleration of a topic of Taiwan? No. The worst thing we Europeans could do would be followers on the topic to adapt to the American rhythm and a Chinese overreaction. Why should we go at a rhythm chosen by someone else? So I mean, it kind of sounds like
What
most of
wasn't
Europe
that
doesn't
what they
want any.
wanted us to do? I'm just saying. That's the German, right?
Right.
Oh, this is now Macron.
I mean,
now.
this is right. This is Macron.
Okay,
He's the
whatever,
Frenchie.
Macron. All right.
Right.
Macron is the Frenchie. Ho, ho.
Speaking
Explain
for
to
the
me what an American rhythm is, though. I really do want to know. What the fuck
I don't
do they
think
mean
he
by that?
actually knows.
fast and
I
hard.
think he made that shit up. I really do. Because what the fuck is the American
Oh, he does
rhythm?
all the time. Like
That we give
he's
them all our
ridiculous.
business? Oh, God forbid you make them more successful. Like, I don't get it. Like the same thing with this. Wait, what is that thing that you said? What is block versus block logic? BLOC. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Like a military block, I guess.
I mean, I guess I read it as bloke, but because there's no K.
Bloke?
Maybe it is
Whatever,
block.
but I don't know what that word means, so educate me.
Well, let's see what it actually means.
The devil's in the details. I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, it's a group of nations or a group of parties, or like a faction, one faction to another, a block.
Sure.
Okay, so
A
we're
combination
talking
of countries,
about.
parties, or groups sharing a common purpose.
All right, so they don't want to get into a block versus block logic. All right, so block versus block logic. Okay, so they don't want to do.
And they're
say,
actually it's
this
actually
country
pronounced like
versus
you
this
said.
country
Block.
logic. Yeah,
Right.
block.
Although he probably said block. He's trying to be Frenchy, ho ho.
A block. Oh.
Last two little things here. It says in a statement, Taiwan's foreign ministry said that it is strongly approved of the German foreign minister's statement. The foreign ministry thanks many high-level officials in the executive departments of various countries, including Germany, for the solidarity with Taiwan, the statement reads. So, I mean,
What was the point of that article? Not what was the point of reading it, but
to actually show that this
say?
isn't just a small little thing that's going on. Like they're actually looking, China's actually looking at other countries to back them up and actually consuming Taiwan.
Nom nom.
Right, exactly. Nom nom. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to actually do such a thing. They're going to actually allow this to occur. If they can get European countries to actually support this, they'd pull out any economic stuff or any kind of diplomatic stuff that they have going on with Taiwan. They just pull everybody out and leave Taiwan to its own demise of whatever China decides to do to them. And all these other countries are just going to be like, all right, if that's what you want to do, all right, we'll see our way out for now because Taiwan's no longer seen as being its own country or its own area or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Be right back.
Okay. Sounds good. So then, let's see. There's a couple other international things before we start hitting train derailments. There's several of them that have happened in the last few days. Yeah, as well as some other fires that had occurred.
We had more here. We had a huge fire set in Bayonne that took out. Now, Bayonne is 2 towns over from me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major port. Like
Yes.
that town has major ports.
Right.
Weehawken.
Another plastics facility is the way I caught it.
Yes, and that was to the southwest of me, but not by much. I mean, I could literally it takes me less than 5 minutes to reach a part of Bayonne from here. And the other way, north of me, Weehawken, huge fire just took out like a whole block over there. We're not prone to fires like this quickly. We get maybe one a year, and now we have these two in the same 2 days.
Okay, so being
That's
that you
very odd.
actually went there, here we'll just go there. We'll just kind of stick with that topic in particular. So then here you go. 3 fires occurred yesterday at a recycling and manufacturing plants. So 3. As far as this article is written, it says 3 fires occurred yesterday. This article is from the 12th. So on the 11th, which today's now the 15th, so about 4 days ago, there were 3 big recycling manufacturing plants that actually were lit on fire somehow, some way, or caught fire. I have no clue. We're just gonna look at it for what it is, right? So this is a fire in the plastics recycling plant, and another at a paper recycling plant took place yesterday. Another April 11th in Indiana and New Jersey. A third fire at a manufacturing plant occurred in Rhode Island on Tuesday as well. Indiana fire. This is the plastics recycling plant in Richmond, Indiana. Now, we covered this one. We covered this one to a point, previously or whatever. So this isn't like completely new, but there's a couple facts that are in here that are a little bit different than what we remember them being. Like, this fire was supposed to be out within a few days, and it wasn't out within a few days. It lasted for a better part of the week. This is the blaze caused the evacuation of approximately 2,011 residents. The evacuation shelter in place order was issued by Wayne County Emergency Management Agency, according to local ABC 6 News. State police stated that the fire was a former Hofco Comet Industries plant, which closed in 2009 after 60 years in the lawn and garden equipment business. The smoke from the fire at a plastic recycling plant in Richmond, Indiana, is definitely toxic, according to Steve Jones. Jones also said, it's plastic. Why wouldn't?
Yeah.
Since when is plastic
not for
toxic?
nothing, but you don't want to inhale any kind of smoke in a general way. But plastic smoke is like among the worst. All the chemicals.
Dragon Man, good to see you, brother. It's been a while since I've seen you. Glad you're here.
That's the T-Man?
No, this is Dragon Man Sassoon.
Oh, it's another dragon. Oh, I love dragon.
Yeah, he's actually been around for
a dragon.
Yeah, he's actually been around for
that out there.
Some time now or whatever. He just randomly shows up, and then
Dragon Man Sassoon.
He usually takes off early because he has to get some sleep of sorts.
Nice.
So then,
what's up, Dragon Man?
Sleep is for the weak.
Dragon Man wasn't he your first purchase?
He's my very first AmericaShirts customer. Yes, the honorary Dragon
Man. He buys shirts like no one can. There you go.
And if anybody's wondering what that is, that's AmericaShirts, our first .com.
Only the most base t-shirts on the planet.
There you go.
Let's see.
We're gonna make them blush.
Jones also said that the fire is going to continue burning for a few days, although it was contained to a certain area. The large-scale fire in Richmond was caused by a semi-trailer that caught fire during behind the main building, which eventually spread. The semi-trailer behind the main fire building was fully involved and fully loaded with unknown types of plastics. So it wasn't the building that was initially started. It was the semi-trailer that was actually lit. So something was inside there, some form of plastics. Now we look at, the places like East Palestine as well as other places, and you look at the chemical compounds that were actually being hauled around. And some of those, when it actually comes down to it, what they were hauling around is like the main components to like PVC piping.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like plastics.
What did he say? Call it Drano?
I have no clue. Beep beep.
Beep beep.
He's such a silly boy.
I love him.
He's the best.
He is the best. I love the way he says my name.
See?
You see a T? Does he see the T?
Beep beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, beep beep.
Yep. Beep beep. You're right, Daddy. Beep beep.
The fire spread from the semi trailer to other piles of plastic as well. The smoke was definitely toxic. We don't want the residents in the smoke. As the wind changes, we may change the direction of the evacuations. I mean, it kind of sounds like you should just evacuate the whole area
Yeah.
as opposed to one direction or the other. I mean, what the hell?
Because
So this
wind does
is,
change fucking suddenly. So
yeah, in a second, right? You just say, oh, shoot, we should
that
have
just
actually
seems like a
evacuated the other side
chaotic
of town
job.
first.
You know, oh, let's get them on the left because it's going the. Oh no, the right. I know the right. No, oh, the back and the front. Get out of here.
Kind of like sitting around a campfire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
They
always
could
get
just
that smoke
call
in
it
your face, no matter
radius
where
and
you're
have the
sitting.
people like evacuated from within that radius.
Right.
That would be the smart thing to do. Oh, the fire's here. Evacuate 3 miles around in every direction. Boom. Done. You do it from the inside out. It's not that difficult, but apparently people have like organizational issues. Why don't I have a better job than I have? I'm
Yeah,
so
right.
good at that shit. Like, what the hell?
Let's see. It says the smoke is definitely toxic. We don't want the residents in the smoke. The wind changes. Oh, I read that one. The plant located near the Indiana-Ohio border is owned by part by the city of Richmond
Mm-hmm.
and in part by a private citizen, according to Brown.
Oh, I'd
And
love
it
to know who
says,
that is.
yeah, who's the private citizen?
Where's
Why is
Shirts?
it
Where'd he go?
private? Why don't you tell us who the private citizen was?
They never want to do that. Oh, they deserve their privacy. No, they don't.
So
They
it
really
says
don't.
this was in those last couple articles. This is the fire chief Tim Brown says he has been warned several times. We have an unsafe citation that was issued to him. We don't know exactly what that was, but we were aware of the situation and we are dealing with the situation. So, they've said that this guy that the private owner or whatever is the guy that's actually been warned that he's improperly storing and or just the use of plastics in the area is improper. So they knew that it was improper, but as opposed to actually doing anything about it because the city partially owned it,
Mm-hmm.
they left it alone.
Yeah, of course. Well, who was going to go after them? The other parts of the city. Give me a break. City cops aren't going to go after city workers, no matter where they're fucking, located, what department. They're just going to let them do their thing. And county cops are worse. So if it was like a county thing, forget it.
Let's see. So then, here's the New Jersey fire. It says a blaze in in Jersey City, New Jersey, according to Tuesday afternoon, and reportedly spread to nearby areas, causing disruptions in the Hudson Bergen light rail system.
Yeah,
According,
that was the light rail fire. That was the one that it stretched all the way to Liberty State Park to the Liberty Statue of Liberty. So that one was viewable easily from here. That was like 2 days ago, I want to say, or maybe yesterday.
yeah,
Although
it
you know
says
me with my
it
time
says
is
3 p.m. Tuesday. The blaze had started. So
yeah, that was a couple days ago. And then we had the one in Weehawken, and then there was the one in Bayonne. So it kind of went, south, north, south. So I'm expecting another to be north, and I hope it's not fucking Hoboken because when we're all row houses. When there's a fire here, we literally have people on rooftops with hoses. because if one fucking ember falls, you could lose an entire block of people. Like it'll just. And see, what scares me about the use of fires is that's how they changed Hoboken. When Hoboken went from being full of factories and factory workers, and just like a middle class, low to middle class town, where everybody like struggled and worked real hard. They started lighting fires, and they would burn people out, and they didn't care if there were people in the buildings. They didn't care if they were legitimate rental properties that were being used the correct way. Like we lost children. We lost a whole family. The mother like literally threw her baby out the fourth floor window to save it. Somebody caught it, and her other daughters died. And everybody heard them screaming. And that's how they gentrified Hoboken. We went from being an immigrant town of hard workers and factories to the mini Manhattan, where all the Manhattanites could come and live a little freer, cleaner, cheaper compared to Manhattan, and still be like a hop, skip, and a jump from their work. But they used fires like weapons. You won't sell me your property? Within a day, everything went up in fucking flames. And we lost blocks at sometimes because it couldn't be contained. So that's what worries me. That's why they're doing this. Is that they're doing it to like get rid of certain areas and like, okay, like I'm gonna wash out all this. Or
So
I'm gonna take
the
all that.
interesting one is you've actually named off a couple other fires other than this one in particular that had occurred in New Jersey. Now, in a search of looking for fires through New Jersey, the only other one that actually comes up is West Milford wildfire that
Because that
scorches
ate
hundreds of acres.
900 acres. It just got contained today. That's like a 4-day fire. And it was like 30% contained. Then they got it to 40. Then they got it to 55. And then finally today they said it's 100% contained. But that's 900 acres of land. In New Jersey, that's not a small number
No,
for
right.
us.
As New Jersey's, pretty small in itself, right?
We're very compact.
Right.
We're the most, one of the most highest
Densely
population
populated. Yep.
densities. So
Right.
it's when we have open, like open forestry, we relish that. We really we treasure our forests. No lie. Because we know we don't have a lot. We love our little mountains and little hills all over. And we like to live among them. We don't want to destroy them. It's a big thing here because we don't have that much, especially the more north you go. So this is a travesty to all of us. It's really it's a sad thing because we know it takes easily 20, 30 years for that area to repopulate itself. But I have a feeling it won't get a chance. They'll use that for something. They'll say, "Look, you have all this dead land now. We'll give you a check and take it over and do this with it." That's what I'm
Which,
afraid of.
Right.
scorched land can actually, be productive in itself, can actually, allow, you know, other things to, reproduce itself in a cleaner state, so for at least a little while anyway. So, I mean,
Well,
it could be a positive in the future, but, obviously 900 acres is not positive.
no, because think of how many 15-minute towns you could put in there.
Right.
They're almost like pod towns,
Sure.
what they're talking about. So that wouldn't be difficult. They could put one and then space it out so that they can't freely travel back and forth, and then create another one. It's all very suspicious. I'm sorry.
Well,
Very
right. And
suspicious.
then to drive off those who are there on
Yeah.
the land off of it. So then that way they
Hmm.
have that total control.
Yeah, they have absolute domain. They have what is that, eminent domain over like everything. They could just say, well, it's too burnt for you to live on. So I'm gonna, out of the goodness of my heart, buy that land from you because you'll never be able to build on it because we'll never give you the permits because it's now you're gonna have to clean it. That's $4 million for like one plot of land to clean it. Government does it for free, but you're not giving it to us, so you got to pay for it out of your pocket. That's a big motivator to sell. They're like, oh no, no, that's shit. It was just land. Here, fuck it, take it. I'm not paying $4 million to clean it, and I guarantee it would be something like $60 million to clean it, or more, because it was going to cost us $4 million just to clean the little plot of land where the gas station was at. So, and that was one fucking plot of land. So, I worry about the 15-minute towns. I do. It's just, since the very first time I heard of it, all I could think of was, how are they going to do that without us knowing that they're building these like perfect towns where you never have to leave and you have to get permission from the, like governor to go visit another town, because that's what they're discussing. So
Yeah.
we could, yes, you're good, you're maintained here, you stay here. What if I want to leave? There would be no traveling.
Yep. I was gonna pull up here. I watched a little video about this. Oh, I know where it was. It was from Slow Boy Whiteboard.
Okay. While you find that, I'm going to finish the little spot on the New Jersey thing here real quick. So this is according to NBC News. The multi-alarm blaze started shortly after 3 p.m. Tuesday at the recycling plant, and the firefighters were still attempting to bring it under control hours later. A cloud of smoke hung over Jersey City well into the night as crews were still putting out hot spots after midnight. A thick black plume of smoke was seen billowing out of Reliable Paper Recycling, which is across the Hudson River from Manhattan. And it is one of the largest recycling companies in the tri-state area. NBC News New York reported that a worker at the facility said the fire started in the back of a warehouse where cardboard bales were stored. Employees tried to extinguish the flames, but it spread too quickly as the wind fanned the flames. Nearby brush also caught fire after embers were blown around, sparking fires in and around an adjacent railroad track. So I mean, it looks like they were able to contain this particular fire from this paper recycling plant within the day. So it had to have been minimal to a point, but still would have actually let off, like they said, a big black plume of smoke, which when it's black is toxic. So there's no way that this wasn't toxic and didn't cause damage to breathing of almost anybody in the area.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but it happened in New Jersey, so they're not going to know the difference. I'm telling you, this is like the asthma capital of the United States. The air quality is that bad. They won't even notice because we live among refineries that burn shit all the time, and we smell it. This is home, home crap home. When you're coming back on the turnpike, you cross from that like ocean water air right into this, and you feel it instantly. I feel it. My chest closes up, my throat gets like scratchy, and I start to like, I can feel the strain because the air is so bad here, so bad. That's why we never open our windows. Very rare, very very rare that you open your windows around here. Some people love it, but they're usually not home. So it's like, okay. But yeah, no, when I moved to Kansas, I didn't have one asthma attack. Never needed my inhaler, nothing. I no sooner got back here within 2 hours, I was because I couldn't. It's like trying to breathe through soup. It's weird. But yeah, New Jersey's air quality is not good. At least not North Jersey. South Jersey's alright.
So then there's a third fire that this article in particular points out. This is strangely, an additional fire also happened in the city of Richmond. This one in the Rhode Island. Employees are reportedly evacuated after flames erupted out of a manufacturing plant in the Richmond Charlestown line yesterday afternoon. Workers were evacuated Tuesday after a fire broke out inside a Richmond manufacturing plant. Richmond, Carolina Fire Chief Scott Barber told Local 12 News firefighters were called to Brookwood Finishing Industrial around 2:30 p.m. Barber said a fire appears to have started in the fabric manufacturer's dye house. The flames were quickly extinguished since the vat where the fire started contained a water reactive chemical, according to the chief. No injuries were reported. The Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management is monitoring the potential chemical runoff. The cause of the fire remains under investigation at this time. So, yet another, something happened out of Rhode Island. So I mean, it just seems to be awful lot of fires, awful lot of things occurring with chemical when it comes down, whether it's water based chemical or water reactive chemical or whatever it is. It's really strange that we're getting so much. Go ahead, Shirts.
Yeah, this is about the 15-minute city that we're talking about here, which is the
The
theory
ones that
behind.
make me crazy.
Yes.
Mhm.
And see, this is a guy that's going to present to you a 15-minute city.
What is a 15-minute city? So come on in, let me show you what a 15-minute community looks like.
Well, I'm excited to see this, Randy, because you always break things down into nice practical ways, right?
Here we go. These residents of the 15-minute community, they're not locked in, but they just stay there. They're free to come and go, but they don't. So let's take a step inside. Everything they need in their life is right here in their 15-minute community. A water bowl, a feed tray. They own nothing, but they are exceptionally happy. And you know how happy they are is by how many eggs they produce. And it's so wonderful
That was not
because
producing eggs.
I get to take everything that they produce, and they just keep producing. So let me go in here. And here we go.
He wants to be
Each of them
known.
have their own house. Now, in a 15-minute community, you don't get a lot of variation in housing. They're all pretty much the same. But we can take a look and collect their production.
Those are some tiny fucking eggs.
There's a few. There's a few more. And there we go.
And they're none the wiser.
And they're happy.
Yeah.
I get to take what they produce. They're free to come and go, but the world is so scary for them out there. They will never leave.
So
I don't
loud.
have to put a fence around them. And here we are.
It's an ideal world. I don't see anything wrong with it. Everything is provided for them. They're cared for. They're happy. They're together.
Yeah.
It's all convenient.
What? So anybody who wants to understand what a 15-minute community is, here you go. And there's only one boss. And that boss provides everything for them.
Boom.
Oh no, that's terrifying to me. No. You might as well. That's just a big old cage to me, and I really don't like being caged.
I mean, that's exactly what the point is, right? Like it's exactly.
I know, like it's. We're gonna set these, and they're gonna. That's the thing. Who determines who lives where? how does that go? Do we get to choose? Because I highly doubt they would be like, oh, well, everybody has to move. You can choose your destination. Because like minded people are going to talk to one another and go, where are you going? I want to go there too. I'm going to write that down. And then you
Right.
have communities of like minded people who are pissed at you. So it's like, I don't think they do it that way. I think
Well,
they're
I
going to
mean,
wipe out as many as they can. They're going to clear as much land as they can. And then they'll start. And who's going to build these communities? The people that they pick. The people that they pick
right.
to go to community A, community
And
B,
if you're a
community C.
dissident or you're somebody who doesn't like
Mhm.
all of that, they
Maybe
might
like a
just,
work community.
right,
Hmm.
work community, work camp,
Yep.
work.
It's funny how those always seem to come about. But yeah,
Right.
that's I can easily see them doing that all over the world, but especially here. I just don't see us falling in line for that. But they're doing the emotional blackmail. They're saying, "Hey, you spent this time in isolation. Imagine if you were in a 15-minute town. Everything is walkable. You don't need a car. You don't need this. You don't need that. Everything is regulated
I mean,
for you."
the way things were built before the car. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're you think about it. Anybody here, they can't give up their goddamn phone. They're gonna give up their car. Are you kidding? Like, no, that's not happening. These people are not giving that shit up. And the government should have known that. You can't take away tech from people who are addicted to it. And 99% of America is addicted to fucking tech, including the old people and the really, really little ones. This was playing freaking crosswords all day. I don't know. It's it's too. I don't even have a word. I don't think a word exists to describe this monstrosity. I really don't.
Evil?
That doesn't
Satanism?
even begin to cover it, though. I mean, you're literally turning people who were individuals and worthy of different things. You're gonna uproot their whole lives because you think that the rapture is fucking coming, and we have to be like cleansed of our sins. You're trying to make everybody skinny and everybody this and everybody that. It's not gonna work if you keep up with the old practices as well. You can't. They can't like really do anything with the abortion thing until the fucking shit is settled because they have to be politically correct. You can't just state your opinion and have a different opinion tomorrow. No, no. What do you mean? I have to like pizza. I don't like pizza anymore. I got, like Domino's pizza the other day. I got food poisoning from it. So now I don't want to have that. I don't want to have pizza. That's not true, by the way. Anybody listening? I love pizza. Just saying. But it's that kind of thing where it's like, okay, I'm having such a hard time talking. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just, it's weird to me. I'm sorry, Shirts. The thought's gone. It wasn't a squirrel. That was a medicine, like, because I had it and it was formulated and it just would not come out. So I apologize.
That was a medically induced
It
uh,
was.
Yes,
thoughts
yes.
of brain function. Yeah.
It was. It was a medically induced brain fog because I literally watched the thought just float away.
To go along with what you guys are talking about, Dragon Man says there's a film called Colony, 1995, where John Ritter, or with John
Yes,
Ritter,
I wrote
this
that
is
down.
what
I'm
it's
Oh,
going to go
about.
look at that.
So,
we
I
I
should
think
mean,
I've
watch
heard
that
of
in
this
Discord
before.
one
I think
night.
I've heard some people talking about it.
We should definitely watch that.
Yeah, that would be a useful thing to watch.
Yeah, and if you guys aren't in our in Cool Frogs Discord, you really need to get on that. Like, sign up, become a member, subscribe. People send you
if
that
you
link.
can't afford to join, at least turn on, you know, allow gifting because there's plenty of people that do actually do that, whatever, where they actually gift out those memberships. Behind
I
that
gift it
membership,
out all
there
the time.
is a link to Discord. If you can't pay for it the next month, I'm not going to yeet you from the server. It's not how it works.
No.
Not that way. We yeet you for other reasons instead.
I don't know what those reasons are because I've done pretty much everything on Discord. Nothing.
Right. There's a lot that you have to
Right
actually do
down
to
to
actually
sharing
keep eating.
boobage.
Usually they leave before they get eaten.
What I did. I sent my boobs to Vicky, I think.
Oh, her too?
Hmm?
Sure.
Excuse me, what about two?
To keep on
Shut
going
up.
here, whatever.
Shut up.
Just speak of, because
I'm
like I
not
said,
that drugged up, you bastard.
there's there's plenty of fires that have occurred that have actually, things that have happened with toxic chemicals in the last week or so. This is actually today. This is Georgia firefighters contain a massive fire of resin plant after nearby residents ordered to evacuate. So it's a resin plant,
I'd
more
like to know in
plastics.
4 years what the autism statistics are for the East Coast.
See, this is the thing here, right? Like more plastic plants, more plastic this, more plastic that. They're trying to make you believe that everything is going to be forever toxic, so that you give up all the land around where these things are to them.
Yep.
When it's not actually that horrifically toxic that it won't go away.
It's just a little toxic. You
Just
just can't live here
just a
for
little
40
bit.
years.
Yeah.
40 years. Don't worry, your great grandchildren can inherit it. It'll be fine.
Vicky's over on the Rumble side says, "Wait, I didn't get to see your boobs. You might
You
want to
didn't
check
get to
some
see my
DMs."
boobs? Oh, I'll send them later. Tadpole's like, yeah, okay, yeah. She'll do it. It's fine.
I just got a little dance. Fun.
Aww. You got a little booty dance.
I got a dance. Yeah.
Aww.
Jump.
Jump. A little higher. Jump till you get tired.
Just a little bit.
House your body. House your body.
Oh, okay.
And wiggle, wiggle.
Oh,
Wiggle. That's my dance, Tadpole. Come on now.
Wiggle, and upside down. Okay.
No, wiggle is Miss Shelley's thing.
Almost up and down.
Oh, just wiggle up and down. Oh, okay. Not
Ooh.
upside down.
Wiggle.
Oh, not up, just down?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, up, down.
Up down, like it's work.
Oh, okay.
Wiggle.
Well,
It's a
good thing
wiggle
that
work.
the both of you are talking about something totally different. Thank you.
That's what makes it fun.
Glad he can't hear what you're actually saying.
Why? All I said was wiggle. I literally only said wiggle.
He's so silly. Okay, so it says that they contained a massive fire at a resin plant, which forced the evacuation order to be issued for some surrounding areas. The Glenn County Board of Commissioners said in a Facebook post at 6:21 p.m. that an evacuation order had been issued for the area within a half-mile radius of the Panova plant in Brunswick, Georgia. At 8:30, the Board of Commissioners said that the fire was contained and no injuries were reported. According to the Board of Commissioners, Jacksonville Fire Department has arrived for support. There was a fire at the plant on Saturday morning that was deemed contained at 9:55 a.m. When, according to officials, it reignited at 3:10 p.m. before an evacuation order was issued. Officials originally established a shelter-in-place order. So, like, I'll just stay where you're at, don't, whatever, so that we can actually get you the information to you.
That's what happened with the West Milford one.
Right.
Yesterday or the day before, they said it was 60% contained. And then there was a really, really, really hot day and a surge in the wind, and they were down to it's 15% contained. I was like, oh shit. Like, God damn it, how they dropped down that much? But it was bad because it kept lighting, like it would travel and light further, travel and light further. So it was like, okay. And it did that, just embers on the wind.
I mean, that's
Those
an
are
awful lot
super
of
dangerous. Yeah.
black smoke that's being poured into the air there,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And that was a lot of regular smoke because we lost so many trees. Like it ripped through farmland, it ripped through forestry. You're ripping through, what little fucking producers of oxygen we've got. You're making this place even more, ugly and like the butt of every joke. So of course people aren't going to want to live here. They're going to want to move. Hell, I want to move.
So, in this article in particular, as you can see, there's plenty of videos and photos of this plumes of black smoke just being poured into the air. So there's lots of stuff that's actually happening with this particular facility. That's it's gross that how much that you can actually see pouring into the air. Um,
Yeah, it doesn't billow like a regular fire. It's that kind of
no,
smoke. You can see the weight of it as it like, if you almost feel like you could put something on it and just watch it kind of move up with the cloud. It's disgusting because you could see that it's got like particulates in it. There's no way that that's just smoke.
so then to continue with fires and smoke. I found this article on a different couple or this particular instance in a couple different places. I found this one the most interesting because of the way it was worded. Because this is Vox, so Vox is gonna, they're leftist media, through and through. Says a fire killed 18,000 cows in Texas. It's a horrifying normal disaster. Normal? It's a normal disaster to actually have a fire at a cattle farm?
Yes, don't you know that cow forks blow up facilities every day?
Apparently, there must have been teenagers. They were like cow tipping and said, "Hey, this one's about to fart." Somebody light a match, poof, and the whole fucking place.
Oh, I was figuring the cows were just spontaneously combusted.
He laughed at the perfect time. That was great. I bet she said, okay, oh, shit, okay. Damn, Tadpole, tell me you don't believe me without telling me you don't believe me. It's like, that's horseshit. That's horseshit. No, it's true.
No, I'd read something else that actually said that this number had increased by about 2,000 cows. Like there were actually 20,000 cows that had actually.
So the fuck what?
I'm just saying.
Look up what else puts out methane.
No, right.
Like everything friggin' does.
The amount of cows that were killed due to this critical condition that they're dealing with, it really seriously is ridiculous that there's so many that they couldn't, evacuate any of them from the building that they were trapped in. They just, whatever, they're all trapped in there. It's on fire. Oh, well.
Like there's not a beef shortage as it is.
Right, exactly. So we're going to be watching, prices skyrocket and all this stuff. And
I already paid $20 for 1.5 pounds of fucking sirloin.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
not
absolutely.
even sirloin. It's London broil. They call it sirloin. It's not. It's London broil. And it's veiny, like it's got nerves and fat, and it's just not your normal London broil.
Sorry. Did they take off your taxes today?
I don't believe so.
Let me see.
She put them on at like 9.
Okay. I'm going to read this out
I'm
real
going to
quick.
mute myself
okay.
because he's going to remove something.
Okay, sounds good. It says an explosion and fire at a dairy farm on Monday in Texas Panhandle has been called the deadliest cattle barn fire ever recorded. It left one worker in critical condition and killed 18,000 cows. The cause of the fire, which occurred in South Fork Dairy Farm in DeMitt, 75 miles northwest of Lubbock, is still under investigation by the state fire marshal. In an interview with local news station, Castro County Sheriff Sal Rivera said that it may have been caused by the facility's manure management equipment. It is possible that it overheated and the methane and the things like that might have ignited and spread out with an explosion and a fire. Large or fires in large scale animal farms and factory farms are surprisingly common. Over the last decade, at least 6.5 million farmed animals, mostly chickens, perished in the barn fires in the U.S., according to Washington, D.C. based nonprofit Animal Welfare Institute. There's a little graph here. It says at least 6.5 million farmed animals died by fire in the past decade. The true death count is likely far higher. I would almost assume that it's a lot higher than what they're actually trying to actually say it is. You can see 2019, there's quite a few, even in 2017, quite a jump in amount of deaths of farm animals due to fire. And you can see 2023, we're on record to actually continue to run this number up. So this is just the start, right? It says the fires are part of a broader pattern of mass casualty events in factory farms, where 99% of America's meat, dairy, and eggs are produced. Some are the result of human and mechanical error, but many stem from the natural disasters such as hurricanes, blizzards, and extreme temperatures. Like last summer's scorching heat wave in Kansas that killed thousands of cows who were subsequently dumped into a landfill, disease outbreaks too result in mass deaths of culling on farms. And swine flus, bird flus. We've seen plenty of different disease outbreaks that actually did cause damage to our food supply. It's in large amount. It's not just fires that have actually taken this out. The DeMitt fire, however, was an unusual in its scale because the farm was enormous. It was reportedly 19,000 cattle, and it was among the biggest dairy farm in the country. It killed an order of magnitude more cows than typically killed in fires, enough to fill 26 football fields, according to the USA Today analysis. For context, the largest number of cows killed in a single fire between 2018 and 2021 in the U.S. was 548. So I mean, obviously, 18,000 cows is dramatically higher than 548. Within like a 3-year period. What's so striking about the incident in Texas is just the sheer number of animals that were on the operation in one building to begin with, said Ellie Granger, the policy associate of AWI. Frank Brand, who operates the South Fork Farm, said he couldn't provide comment when he was reached by phone Thursday. High death tolls could be more likely in the future as mega factory farms proliferate, packing ever more animals into cramped warehouse-sized sheds. From 1992 to 2017, the number of U.S. farms with 1,000 or more dairy cows was more than tripled, and as the total number of dairy cows has remained about the same. So then, again, this is Vox. This is Vox throwing all these quote unquote stats and whatever at us, trying to say, "Oh, look, it's nothing unnormal. This is normal. This happens all the time. Don't worry about it. It's just a couple cows." So this is fires at livestock and poultry production and storage properties and quite common and have been for years. The National Fire Protection Association reported earlier this year, animal farms don't have the same fire codes and safety requirements as buildings designed for humans. Farms often lack fire alarms and sprinklers. They're filled with flammable materials like hay. Barn fires are typically caused by malfunctioning heating or electrical systems, according to the NFPA, and are more common in colder states in the Midwest and Northeast. But yet again, when we actually look at most of them occurred, what in southeast, as far as south and southeast, as far as that goes. I know there's a couple that happened up here in the Midwest, but I don't see that's always the case. I think that's just more them just trying to push their opinions on us. This is fire at large. Industrial scale facilities are particularly concerning because they can wipe out as many animals at once. Chicken factory farms can house hundreds of thousands, even millions of animals each year. So a single fire at one of these facilities can account for a majority of barn fire deaths in a year. Chickens account for about 92% of the 6.5 million animals killed in barn fires, with pigs uh, um, comprising of about 2% and cows less than 1% until now. Until now, because like they said, only 548 cows between 2018 and 2021 were lost to fires. According to why they didn't put the 2022 in there, it kind of makes you wonder why they left Kansas high and dry like they did. Just like, oh, let's not use them in the stats. It's okay.
You wouldn't wonder if you lived there.
Right, and you can see the graph. Like they said, so many. Look at all the 6 million chickens. That have actually succumbed to fires in these barns or these farms. So it's really kind of sad and disturbing to actually see why prices are so high on all of our food.
Yep.
The true number is likely significantly higher. AWI notes because not all states have the same reporting requirements, and because farm animals are property with essentially no legal protection from suffering media reports, and these incidents often focus on financial losses to farm owners rather than the immense suffering of farmed animals who burn to death. So this is putting out the fire in America's farms. It says fires aren't totally avoidable, but more state agencies could help mitigate the risk by adopting a National Fire Protection Association Fire and Life Safety and Animal Housing Facilities Code. So, is this what they're aiming for? Why there's so much that's actually occurring is they're actually wanting the government to kind of step up and actually create some kind of protection association to prevent this from actually occurring in the future. It kind of sounds like we need more government overreach. Yeah, sounds great. Let's do that. The latest edition, published in 2022, requires annual fire hazard inspections, contacting emergency services when alarms go off, fire drills, employee training, and minimum spacing between buildings. Only a few states have adopted the code for farms. Meat, dairy, and egg producers themselves could implement relatively straightforward reforms to prevent fires, according to Granger. Conduct proactive fire safety inspections alongside fire officials and experts, ensure equipment is routinely checked and maintained, and institute worker training and emergency planning. Kind of couple disturbing photos in there, apparently. So this is, fortunately, the industry was not taking it upon themselves to adopt the code in their own standards, the guidelines that they use as a part of their certification program or auditing programs. The reporting system for barn fires could also be improved in order to better understand its scope. Fire officials often fail to include the number of animals who've died in their incident reports. Because, there's so many people that don't, think animals as being, living creatures. They really don't. There's so many people that don't like animals at all, that when they actually something like this happens, they just they lost some animals. It's okay. Go Hagen says they wanted us to eat bugs. Just another coincidence. I mean, it could be.
Everybody loves the bug theory. Why? Why bugs? God, maybe they want us to eat squab.
Inaka Adventure. Good to see you. Says, imagine the smell. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, the stank that comes out of such a thing or whatever.
By the way, I made a lot of really good points before. but apparently I forgot I was on fucking mute. So and now I don't remember them, or they're not relevant. So I just want to say I made quite a few, and I
I
was
made a
very
couple
funny.
of points, but you just talked right over it. Ah.
Yeah, no, I was like, this motherfucker's not listening. Then I looked down and I was like, oh, that one's my fault. Okay, my bad. My bad. At least I admitted it. Shit. I could have been like, not your fault.
This is a more fundamental problem, though, is factory farm size, which can make the disturbingly high death counts from fires and other disasters and can make them harder to prevent and contain. Farms are massively huge. You can see the photo there from this large pig factory out of North Carolina in this photo, whatever. These very large infrastructure, and these buildings are like right next to each other. So, one starts on fire, good enough wind, you start the one next to it on fire. It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much to actually, disturb a whole farm. That was evident, for example, last year's bird flu outbreak, in which the poultry industry resorted to exterminate tens of millions of farmed birds through the ghastly method called ventilation shutdown plus, essentially killing them
They
via
choked their
heat stroke.
chickens. They choked the chickens. That's what. I love when I make him laugh. I feel like where's my cookie? I deserve a cookie. That just made my whole weekend. That, and I get to go home in a couple hours. Woo!
That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yes, very.
It's so exciting that if you haven't realized, on Talking Trash and Truth's own channel, there is a something set up for the moment that she gets home for a welcome home party. Be ready.
Yes, in case you saw that, I'm not doing that for myself. He did that for me. He sucks at renaming my files. He does. I
didn't rename anything. I just went ahead and I put a title.
The thing. No, mine autofill. So like the description says, just take a breath, keep calm, and carry on. I was like, wait a minute, that don't go at a party. He's got to change that. I said he didn't even know that it carried over. Like it automatically lists.
Yeah, I didn't know that you had an automatic description filter. So
hell yes, because I'm not writing the same shit over and over. If I'm doing Q&A, I just want to hit Q&A and the autofills, and I'm good. What I say is different. What I write is the same. Sure. I have templates.
No, makes sense.
Templates, babe.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
But yours are like 2 words. Yours say waking up. That's your template. Like, no.
Yeah.
I need a little more verbiage than that.
Simple and easy, straight to the point.
Or you could say, like, pre-ejaculate. Comes too soon. Like, it's just too short.
No. What the hell? No.
Well, then make it bigger. Otherwise, I'm going to keep that opinion. See, folks, this is what you call manipulation of the man.
I got nothing.
Okay. And that's what you call payback. God damn it. Can't. When somebody knows you that well.
So, for the many types of natural disasters and disease outbreaks, you can see here Senator Cory Booker, this Democrat out of New Jersey, introduced a bill that, among other provisions, requires large meat and egg producers to prepare for disasters and pay the costs of dealing with them, including cleanup and disposal of animal carcasses. So, I mean, he's trying to pass something that would actually give a lot of government overreach when it comes to farming. So if we remember, who owns most farmland in the United States?
It appears to be me. Actually, I do own a lot of farmland.
Makes me so happy. It does. I don't know why.
Well, my pink sweater has that effect on some people.
I just love it. I really do. I love when you do that and Jimmy does the Indian dude. And he does Trump for me. It's great.
All
I
right, I'll
love
be
it.
right back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, while he's gone, would we like to talk about reducing the population?
Sure. But we got to be careful on YouTube. Got to be careful. You mean the population of ants and ant hills? Because
Yes,
there's a
of
lot of those.
course.
And like
Right.
fire ants, carpenter ants, they're pests. So even though
Right.
you see all these people in this little community working, doing different jobs or whatever, and eventually getting together, working together, they're not what you want, right? So if you had pests all over the country like this, what kind of things do you do to eradicate them? You remove their food sources, right? So that they scramble. They'll they'll have many other food resources, but losing those does what? I mean, you're taking away their main source of enjoyment. Think about it, most of these people in America don't eat for fuel, they eat for fun.
Very true.
So they're not going to want to give up their steak. They're not going to want to give up chicken cordon bleu. It's not about survival for them. It's how dare you take my decadence from me. And there's certain ones that are going to keep paying and certain ones that go, all right, I guess I'm eating tilapia. Like, that's where we're going. Genetically modified. And I just feel like the more genetically modified crap we eat, the more we become less organic ourselves. Because eventually that shit's got to like change something in us on a molecular level. It's got to.
I mean, it changes the way you digest things as well because the body can't absorb it normally.
But if that's all you're living off of, now it's in your cells, right? Because it's going to pull different like things from it. What happens when you have children? What happens to those children? Those are children who are literally being grown from a thought on not real sustenance, on nothing. And I'm not talking organic as in, like how they say organic. I mean just natural or real even. How do you bring up a baby that you're trying to grow inside you on sometimes plasticky food? Because we really don't know what they're doing them to make them different.
I mean,
Right.
right? You wonder why these kids these days when they all have some kind of allergy to so many things.
But they're not
Yeah,
they're
Kids, we
not going
didn't
to
allergies,
have
tell
so
us.
many
autism.
allergies when we were kids. Where are all these allergies coming from? Oh, yeah.
When
Hmm.
Connor was born and I found out he had the peanut allergy at a year old, I was in a friggin' dentist's office reading one of those like 3-year old magazines that they have, and I found a little itty bitty article about the rise in peanut allergies being related to the fact that the government changed the proteins in peanuts to make them more antifungal so they could store them longer. And that protein is not a protein that humans can process. Not every human can process it. It's not natural. Do you know I've never found that article again? And I looked for it. Never found it again. It was gone. And it laid it out real quick. And it said they changed such and such a protein in the peanut to make it antifungal so that it could be stored for longer times in case of just a lull in people buying. They didn't want crops going bad on the shelf because now we need peanut oil and we need peanut this and we need peanut that, and that's going everywhere. But I've never seen the goddamn article since then, and I've looked for it. It was just
Uh,
not there.
Go Higgins says, "Hey folks, Kermit the Frog here. Have you heard of eugenics? If not, let me explain it to you kids."
Your government wants to kill you.
I
That's what that is.
assume that you're trying
Like,
to mock Bill Gates' voice.
oh
That's
yes,
not very
please.
well fond of.
It was Kermit the Frog. What the hell?
You might get sent to a camp really early.
Well, I know he's gonna shut me up real early, but he'd be like, "What'd you say about peanuts, bitch?" Because I guarantee you he had something to do with it. But I mean, that made total sense because I read it and I was like, that would make sense because none of us grew up with any kind of nut allergy, fruit allergy. You know what you were allergic to? You were allergic to getting in trouble. We weren't allergic to shit. None of us. We were allergic to dogs and cats and shit like that. That was it. Hey, like, all right, I'm allergic to, I don't know, like the the pollen. All
Right,
right,
pollen allergies. Right,
typical allergies. Nobody was allergic to a goddamn peanut, allergic to rice, allergic to wheat,
or even had
corn,
asthma as bad
sugar.
as we do these
The
days.
fuck? Yes.
Right,
But I mean, I can explain why I have asthma. One, I grew up a smoker. I grew up in a house full of smokers, so I didn't have a
right,
fucking chance. Like,
right.
I was nicotine dependent by the time I was like a year old. So that was never going to escape me. It was always going to be, when it's my turn. When's it my turn? Oh, good. I can go buy them now. And then it was fine. But we didn't have any of this shit. Now you have people that are allergic to everything. I had a kid in my class. He couldn't eat starches, carbohydrates. He was allergic to certain proteins, most proteins, as a matter of fact, every kind of dairy that existed, like every kind, even the fake kind.
Mhm.
He couldn't even handle lactate.
Yeah, even
And that's
tadpole
like
is the same way.
four.
Mhm.
But see, this is what drives me crazy because we never had these kids. And I went from having one the first year I taught to the last year I taught, I had like seven of them. Drastic. That I was sick of carrying around EpiPens. Everywhere I went, I had 7 or 8 EpiPens on me.
Hmm, crazy. What's up, Winnie? Good to see you. He says bee stings.
Bee
So
stings.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people
Okay,
are
yes, I
allergic
used
to
to
bee
be.
stings.
I used to be allergic to bee stings, and now I'm not. So explain that.
It's a little weird. Um, Gohagen says I know of nothing I'm allergic to. I'm the same way. There's zero things that I'm allergic to.
I'm allergic to IVP dye. That's the contrast fluid that they use during MRIs and CT scans. But I'm not allergic to shellfish, which is where they get the goddamn dye. So I don't understand. I really don't. I really fucking don't. So take that as you want it. But my son, they said he's got a peanut allergy. He had a reaction once when he was one, and that was to some crappy peanut butter. And he never had another reaction again. He's 16 years old. Even the doctor said, he said, I want to test him, but it's like, I don't see the point because in 15 years, if he didn't have one like encounter with peanuts, you must have had him locked in a like airtight room for the whole time. There's no way he avoided interaction across contamination for 15 years. But he never had another reaction. So he was like, I think it was just because he was young and his body wasn't used to it. And, it was a new thing. And he reacted badly. You could do it again. I was like, I'm not doing it again. I was like, nope, not giving him peanuts because I remember what he looked like. No, no, no. Like, I'm not doing that because he just blew the fuck up. It was like somebody just pressed the button on, those auto rafts? That's what his face looked like. He ate the peanut butter one. Poof! I was like, oh my God. I screamed. I cried. I didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's where we're at. Like, who would have expected it? We never got tested for allergies as kids. Our parents didn't introduce one new
No,
food at a time. I
no.
went from formula to full like meals. Like, okay, we put the whole meal through a grinder. Here
Right.
you go.
Here's your dinner. Sit
That was
down,
it.
eat everything, and don't you dare stand up until you're done.
Well, it's the same
Type thing,
bullshit with
right?
cats and dogs with their food. Oh, you have to give them that. Really? Because they have been around forever. and dog and cat food have not. You know, it's just like I
Right.
never in my life gave my dog food. Never. Sparky had whatever we had for dinner. Sparky had a dish of it, and that dog lived till it was almost fucking 18 with no fucking problems. Who are you talking to?
Um,
Is that him going shoop shoop? Or is that
no,
Church?
she's
Hey, Brainy, are you shoop shooping?
Nope.
Oh, you should be.
no. Lady Frog's in here and taking care of Tadpole at the moment because he was trying to get into something that he shouldn't have gotten into. So
Oh,
it
Oh.
brought her in here, which as well. So that's what you're hearing. You're hearing her.
hey, Lady Frog. What's
They said, "Hey, Lady
up?
Frog."
What's up?
Hello.
No, I
um,
need more. I need more because I'm the one in the hospital. I should sound like that.
sure. Real quick, and this has been a little bit since the message had been left. It looks like Vicky said, "See you later." She's headed to bed. She'll catch the party tomorrow for sure.
Now, where's that on
Snoozy
Rumble?
Lou said night all on the Rumble side. Uh, Good night. Sleep well. Hope everybody has a good night over. Anybody that's actually seeing their way out at the moment. I see that numbers are kind of slowly dwindling as we're making it through the night. I would do a couple few other things here quick before we go away. Um, there's a train carrying hazardous materials derails in Maine. So another one. Yet another train derails
Jesus, winner.
carrying hazardous materials. So over and over again, we keep on seeing more and more train derailments carrying hazardous material. So
It's
then
not
this,
so much that they're derailing now as depositing,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
right?
Exactly.
It's like that's their like quick drop off. Like, well, we'll lose the train, but get the job done. I feel like these are just so targeted. That's what they're doing.
Right. So this is Canadian Pacific. So this is a Canadian Pacific freight train derailed and caught fire in Maine on Saturday today, causing minor injuries to 3 rail employees. A total of 3 locomotive engines and 6 rail cars carrying lumber and electrical wiring derailed in a wooded area, uh, where they caught fire and started a small forest fire,
God.
according to Maine's Forest Department. Um, Said in a statement to Reuters, and this is additional rail cars transporting hazardous materials did not derail. It said, adding that these hazardous materials are not at risk of leaking or catching fire. The derailment happened when the train encountered a track washout. The Canadian Pacific said in the statement, the washout may have been caused by a buildup of melting ice and debris. Earlier in the day, Rockwood Fire and Rescue posted a photo of the derailment in the Facebook page, asking residents to stay clear. Rockwood Fire Department did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. So I mean, according to this article, they're saying that the cars that derailed weren't the ones that contained the chemicals, but it was still started on fire. Still
Mhm.
started on fire, so it was carrying lumber and electrical wiring. Lumber, it's gone. If it started on fire, there's no way that any lumber's still there, especially when it started the forest on fire. Um,
Because only you could prevent forest fires.
her, her.
Ah.
Oh
Uh,
no, we've been together too long.
So just because the train was
My
carrying hazardous
brain.
materials doesn't mean it actually dumped the hazardous materials. But there's a couple, train cars that are actually sitting out in the middle of this area of Maine that actually do have, hazardous materials in them, which they're saying won't leak, but I guess we'll find out within the next few days if anything actually did happen with this, as opposed to it just being another derailment. There seems to be an awful lot of derailments lately. including this one. Tex rail service restored after freight train partially derails in Fort Worth. Again, this article is actually from a few days ago. This is from the 13th. So uh, it's just a derailment when it comes down to it. So, nothing big here. Don't worry about it. It's okay. This one actually happened in a rail yard. So there's other equipment around, readily available to actually clean, this particular derailment up a little bit quicker than any of the others that have occurred. So it says the freight train came off the tracks and adjacent to the Texrail tracks. Because of that, the Texrail trains could not safely pass between the North Side station and the Fort Worth TP station. Those who commute between these two stations and Fort Worth Central Station were redirected to buses. The service returned to normal around 11 a.m. after crews successfully moved the wrecked freight cars. There are no reports of injuries or hazardous spills because of the derailment. So just a couple derailments, nothing that's really, toxic or anything like that. But still, over and over again, we see more and more of these things occurring. And it seems as though since the East Palestine one actually occurred, we're seeing a lot more of the reporting as opposed to it just being not reported, and nobody's looking at it. It's like now people are actually looking at all this stuff, and they're like, we have to actually say something, and actually do something about it. As I speak of East Palestine, you can see here, they actually do speak of the East Palestine train derailment because there was a semi truck that was hauling dirt away from the area that contained some of the toxic sludge that ended up getting tipped over on the highway, whatever. So they had to actually contaminate another area with the stuff that's in this truck to only have to now go clean that up as well. So good job at cleaning up the mess. You just created another accident with the mess that you were cleaning up. So, just more toxic materials, just kind of just, who cares? Let's just, sprinkle the earth with it. It's okay. It's okay. Right?
Sure, no problem. Go ahead. Why not?
AmericaShirts.
Who?
Yeah, you.
Brainy.
Brainy.
Look, see, I get him to say anything. Winning is kind of talking to you guys.
Mine were so bad after the MMR, I had to have my tonsils out by 3 years old. Like
the measles, mumps, rubella.
Me and my cousin got the first batches.
You're saying you got the first MMRs that rolled out? What year was that, Shirts? Because then we can figure out how old Winning is.
Wait, say that again?
He said him and his cousin got the first batches of the MMR when they rolled out. The measles, mumps, rubella jab.
Oh, measles.
What year was that?
Jeez.
In the late 60s, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, comparing it to like his age, I mean, it would probably be like the 70s. Of the first
batches, yeah. It could have been around he could be my age. Because I remember they were new. And I remember we got very different jabs. Like, I remember every doctor's visit. And every visit they would use a little lancet to prick your finger. And they would put that on a like either a plate or some kind of glass thing. They'd look at it real quick underneath the microscope. Okay, yes, okay. No, they did it by sight. Your blood.
It says the MMR vaccine was developed by Maurice Hillman, is licensed for use in the USA by Merck in 1971.
All right. Ah,
50.
so that means Winning is only what, 3 years older than me.
Not
So he's
1981,
52, 53.
1971. Stop it. Don't lie to him.
What?
He said 1981. No, that's wrong. 1971.
81. You are
Wrong.
so not on the cusp of Gen X. You are Gen X. Don't even. But otherwise you're going to be considered a boomer. He said, "I wish." 1981, you wish. Um,
Yeah, 71,
but
right?
no. So they used to do the Lancet. They would check your blood under a microscope, right? Just one drop of blood smeared on a oh god, I can't, the glass viewing tube, the slide. So they do that. Then they had that other little round.
Here, check this. Here, check this.
Come
So
on,
this
they
is
had that round
before the
thing with all the
widespread
little needles.
of this against measles. Rates of disease were so high that infection was felt to be inevitable as death and taxes. Reported cases measles in the United States fell from hundreds of thousands to tens of thousands per year following the introduction in 1963.
And what shot was that?
This I'm reading off of Wiki.
Okay, and that's for the
They're
MMR.
giving introductions of this stuff back in 1963.
But I believe they started those with.
Yeah, 1963.
They might have given them to adults because that's like with the polio vaccine and with the tuberculosis, the TB. They gave them to like the older people first because my grandmother got them, my great grandmother got them. Then it went to my mother and my uncle and whatever. And those vaccines ate away their flesh. Like the TB vaccine, they used to give them the shot, and depending on how much you reacted, they determined if you were now if you were free of it or if you never had it or this is your vaccine for it. I don't really think that's a vaccine so much as a test. It's like they inject it into you and see if you react to it, and if you do, oh, you have tuberculosis. It's like okay, because that's the one you have to go back the next day to have checked. Anybody listening to me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But that's a different kind of test. That's almost like a reactive test, but they call it a vaccine, which I don't understand because it's not. It's not inoculating you against anything. Don't forget, I
So
was blessed to be one of the original ADD kids. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't qualify as ADD. They just said that I was too smart and put me separate from my class and told me to just, work through the books. That's how I got through Catholic school from second grade to eighth grade. Completely, like I wasn't socially awkward enough. They completely isolated me and said, "Here, you're smarter than everybody else. Go, do this on your own. Independent study." And I got made fun of constantly. I was bullied so bad. But I wasn't gonna, say, "Oh, I'm dumb." No, like if you're gonna beat me up anyway, I'm gonna be the smartest one in class. Fuck you.
so I have
I'm sorry, I squirreled.
no, you're
But go
fine.
ahead.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
I squirreled.
18. I still have 20 articles up. I'm going to actually do a quick run through on these because I see that people are actually kind of heading to bed, dropping out. Looks like we got 10 over on Rumble.
That's
4
it.
people watching over here on YouTube. If you haven't already, please hit that like button for me. Share this out. Tell your friends where you're at. And, do those things. Come on, let's go. No, this one. So we're going to do a quick push through on. Oh, wrong way. Come on. Boomer.
That kind of thing
We
is a touchy subject for some people.
So Right. So here's like I said, I'm going to do a quick run through these last bunch of articles or whatever. We're just going to do like headlines and major points. So it says thieves steal 2 million dimes worth $200,000 from big rig parked in Philadelphia Walmart. Now
Wonderful.
yeah, right. Oh really? You just parked in the middle of a parking lot
They just
at
need
Walmart.
that much zinc. For what? I don't know, but
That tickled me. All right.
So this is a trailer containing 2 million dimes was broken into and looted in northeast Philadelphia this week. The trailer contained hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of dimes. After the discovery of the trailer was made at 6 a.m. on Thursday morning, police commented on roughly 2 million dimes worth about $200,000 were stolen. The truck had $750,000 in dimes in it altogether. Many were found strewn about in the Walmart parking lot where the trailer was parked. The dimes had been picked up in the Philadelphia Mint on Wednesday, but the driver of the truck went home to sleep before planning to drive the next day to
Oh
Florida.
shit!
Oh, really? You
Has
just,
anybody
I'm going to go
seen
home
T
and sleep,
Rex? I'm just
right?
saying.
I
no.
bet T Rex knows that doing something like this can actually probably lose your job,
Yeah, huh? And
right?
put you in jail. In jail is a definite possibility.
I mean, all I'm saying is that listen, like zinc supplements are more worthwhile than these little pieces of tin and zinc, whatever.
For real. They don't even make them with silver anymore.
Uh, Really, some of these articles may not actually be read; they might just be immediately skipped over.
So
Some
do it.
watch
Don't
yourself before we
apologize.
actually
Your
go too
show.
far. I'm just saying, watch yourself before we go too far. If you guys see something that don't read it. U.S. digital ID system proceeds to Senate for debate. So it- digital ID, and now they're actually going to push it. They're going to actually push it through the Senate to see how far they can actually make it. Is it something as simple as digital ID is coming if we don't actually pay attention to what they're actually doing in our government. So, this is digital identity verification system could be soon set up in the United States, with the legislation behind the initiative now progressing to the Senate for debate. Introducing Senators Kristen Sinema and Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming, S884 bill is known as the Improving Digital Identity Act of 2023 and was introduced in the Senate on March 21st after getting passed in the U.S. Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. So they're gonna continue to push to get digital IDs on everybody so that they can actually track all of our movements. We've been saying this for a long time. This is not something really all new,
And
but
look who it is. It's Kirsten Cinema, the lovely moderate that totally wasn't invited to Bilderberg and to the World Economic Forum, along with Jim Manchin, because they're just such lovely, moderate Democrats that just love you so much in more purplish states, and you should totally vote for them, boomers.
oh yeah, do it again. Yep, there you go,
Just keep doing it.
dumbasses.
It'll be great. They love you.
This one should have actually been brought up earlier, apparently. So then there you go. Some of the leaks from the Pentagon is Taiwan unready for China strike. So even our government, the Pentagon knows that something potentially could happen here in the near future, and apparently they're unready for it. Which why they would be so unready is beyond me. Oh, hmm. Oops, wrong one. This one.
You want to share with us?
No, no, that one can't be read. That
Oops.
should be a Rumble exclusive. Oh,
Okay.
oops. Not that one either.
Slava Ukraini.
What about Jack? I actually
That
looked
shit?
up the last. I looked up the last name to actually be able to pronounce it right, but it's Tashira.
Oh, I
Jack
thought you were talking about
Tashira accused of
Kevorkian. I was like,
involvement.
hey.
Right. The axe is more of a C. Tashira. So they're like accused of involvement in the classified document leak. So there's lots of classified documents that were spread along a few discords or whatever by this particular 21-year-old who has been taken into custody. Um, he
Dear
was
God,
a
go to
national.
Humble.
He was part of the National Guard of Massachusetts, so it's not like he wasn't anybody. He did have clearances, and obviously, an IT specialist in himself was able to actually do such a thing and actually spread um, information across several different discords. Apparently, that was where the main leak was. Some of these articles I'm going to actually leave them bookmarked so that we can actually maybe cover some of them a little bit more in depth. We're already, going on almost, we're over just over 2.5 hours, and Shirts told me that he didn't want to go as long as we did last night. So, is today for him
Yes.
would be Easter. So, right?
Yes.
Yes. So then, Tucker Carlson accuses corporate media of, covering up the leaked documents. Interesting. So another thing about Jack there, whatever, for additional spy balloon incidences. Oh, really? Those were also, Chinese spy balloons monitoring U.S. activities. Uh, you know, apparently there's more information about that. So like some of these you can see that I'm leaving these bookmarked or whatever. They're not going to go away. We may actually, do more when it comes down to this particular subject on like a Rumble or something or whatever in the next few days, assuming that there's going to be more information that's going to come out. More classified leak. Rambling man, Biden launches incoherent rant about conquistadors, lemon wallpaper, and Hispanics. I mean,
He actually said the word conquistador. I'm shocked that even came out of his mouth.
No, I don't think he can pronounce that.
I'm gonna pull that one to the side. We'll go through that one at the very
Conquista.
end because what he says is
Conquistador.
hilarious. We'll listen to him at the end. So
Conquistador.
pop through a couple more of these. When legislature goes to war with the state's richest city, and over this particular incident of the trans that actually went and shot up the Catholic school, there were 3 Democrats that actually removed from their positions. It seems as though there's a couple of them actually been reinstated to their positions. This guy in particular has been reinstated. He got his position back or whatever. For whatever reason, Tennessee is sucking hind tit right now, and they have no clue what the hell they're doing.
Okay.
Sorry, Tennesseans, but it just seems as though they're not paying attention, and they're just like, well, it's okay. Just give him a job back. It's okay. He can go and he can protest all he wants. He can protest on the floor. He can protest wherever he wants because whatever. He is what he is.
Did they give him it back, or did they
Yeah.
give him a suspension until this time?
No, they were actually removed from their positions, and these people have been given their positions back.
Yep.
And the reasoning is
Idiocy.
I removed our people. That was the reason.
This guy right here, this guy in the suit, that's the guy that got his position back. So I mean, you can kind of look at him and you probably come up with a couple different conclusions on why he was actually given his spot back.
I mean, but did they give an explanation?
Do they give an explanation on why they gave
Yes.
No, not that I actually caught. I'd have to actually read the whole article again to actually get those particular.
I mean, I'm not really seeing a lot of quotations.
Right. There really isn't. That's what I was kind of looking.
No, I mean it's Politico, so I mean,
Right. Exactly. Let's see here. It says I represent some parts of Nashville that overlap with Justin Jones. A Nashville area state senator told me over fried chicken in Sweets, the soul food cafeteria popular in Nashville politicos, before Jones was reinstated. And I've had numerous constituents reach out to complain that they lost their congressman last year, that the General Assembly is trying to eliminate their Metro council person this year, and that this week they expelled their state legislature. And every one of those things is true from the city to the state to the federal level. Our city has lost small d Democratic representation. So that's why, when you actually think about it, because they lost the representation, when it comes to the Democratic Party, they're like, oh, let's give them give them their positions back, because they're Democrats. We can't remove them. We can't remove them right now. um
Oh, hey, here,
Still the
while you're
state's
looking for
Republican.
something. Winning? No. I'm preparing myself for an observance of the service in the morning, the Mass in the morning. And then afterwards, there will be food.
I bet you're hungry too.
Yes. Very
Yes.
hungry.
You're actually doing the fast thing, right?
The fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Black Fast.
Yeah. Let's see. Still the state's Republican majority, now under rare national scrutiny and pressure over guns. The legislature might ultimately wind up siding with the majority of the constituents overall, but the structural incentives don't favor it. To me, it follows the national narrative. We look at what's happening in Florida, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, all red states reflecting similar tensions with their blue cities. Their state legislatures have struck at local control to their largest population centers. All of those things are interconnected. However, it is how whoever is in power becomes the gatekeeper of the tenets of democracy. But it appears that there are folks across the country and here in Tennessee willing to throw those things out the window. I, why
Outdoor
they keep it
window.
right out their window? I mean,
The window.
why they keep on giving
The
these
window.
guys back their positions is kind of ridiculous. Um, don't like it. I really don't. Do I think that they should be removed from their positions? Yeah. Why? Because they were protesting on the floor. That's the one thing that you don't get to bring that stuff to the floor. That's not how it works. You want to protest, you take it out to the streets. That's where you're supposed to do it. They're doing it right on the floor.
It's supposed to be good trouble outside. Isn't that what that one guy used to say? If you're gonna cause trouble, make it good trouble. We'll bring it outside.
So here's from QWERTY. It says Moscow Mitch McConnell is having the worst day ever on Twitter. So it says while everyone's focused on Dianne Feinstein's absence in the Senate since she was diagnosed with shingles back in February, fewer seem to have noticed the Republican colleague Mitch McConnell has also been MIA from work since he tripped and fell at a fundraising dinner in Washington, D.C. 5 weeks ago. The gay hating 81-year-old has hospitalized and treated for a broken rib and a concussion. He has spent
Hey,
several
he's
weeks.
best friends with Lindsey Graham. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say. Anyway,
You don't get to tell me what I am.
But do you like my ladybug? My mama called them ladybug. God.
It
This
says
is
he
the
has
state
spent the
of our
last
country.
several weeks in the inpatient rehab facility doing the physical therapy, but he just announced he'll be returning to work next week. I'm
I'm looking forward to returning to like everybody has their own interpretation of his voice. It's so great.
I'm looking forward to return to the Senate on Monday. We've got important business to tackle and big fights to win for Kentuckians and American people. I mean, Blah, blah. People, however, seem to be looking less forward to impending return. Here's just a few responses McConnell's tweet got from Democrats and Republicans alike. Yep, turtle. I'm looking forward to returning to the Senate on Monday. This is Leader McConnell. I'm looking forward to returning to the Senate on Monday. We've got important business to tackle and big fights to win for Kentuckians and the American peoples. And then you can see there's several people that had something to say about it. Lori Mills, retire. Tom says, bummer. Hoped he had retired. You definitely are the poster child to why term limits are needed. Julie says, oh, Mitch, your entire career has been one of corruption and dishonesty. No one escapes the wrath coming from the evil ones. You're on the list.
Or for the evil ones. Yeah.
Stay home. You suck. Sincerely, a real conservative. This guy does this little GIF, get out. It's just not exactly the warmest welcome back, if you ask us. Elsewhere on Twitter, rumors that McConnell might actually be considering retirement after 38 excruciating years as Kentucky senator have kicked up about 10 notches. Perhaps perhaps it's just wishful thinking among those who despise the guy's politics and political tactics. Perhaps it's just extreme pro-Trump media outlets that hate him simply trying to manifest his departure so they can replace him with someone even worse. Either way, people of all political stripes seem to be united in extreme dislike for the guy and their excitement for the potential exit. Chop a thumbs
Perfect,
up and a
guys.
retweet if you support the immediate retirement of Mitch McConnell from the Senate. This is from Rich from California.
Yes, please. Whatever the question was, yes.
Several people that have so much to say. Moscow Mitch McConnell is one of the most evil, corrupt beings on earth and who has done irreparable damage to U.S. democracy.
He's
That
not
just
real.
needs
He
to be
was a
said
clone,
every day.
and now he's beyond his expiration date. That's why his skin is melting.
Ah!
It's just he expired.
Hey, now don't talk to me like that. There's rumors circulating that Mitch McConnell is soon
That's
retire
2
due
cookies,
to
just so you know. I get 2 cookies.
I get 2 cookies. He looked fine when I bumped into him in his family reunion yesterday, and they sent a picture of a bunch of turtles. This guy says, "Lord, let it be true. McConnell is retiring." Sadly, no. Occupied Democrat says, breaking. Sources reveal that Republican senators are secretly reaching out with their party to prepare for the leadership vote to replace Mitch McConnell because he will finally soon retire. McConnell has been MIA for weeks after his serious fall sent him to the hospital. Retweet if. So
His
it's like,
head was probably on backwards. They have to realign him.
Yes.
Time.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
So then there's potential picture. You can kind of see like upper lip is very, very bruised, and you can see that his hand looks. Apparently, I don't know if that's his hand or not. No, according to this, they're saying this is what it is. This is those asking where Feinstein and she needs to be replaced. John Fetterman has a potential of body double, but where is Mitch McConnell? We all have our statements. He was the only one with a concussion and broken ribs in a history of health issues, but that one picture of him being released. But yet again, they have these. I don't know. I don't believe the pictures. Really, I really don't know. I'm assuming that they're going to keep him out of the public eye until he looks what he should look like, about normal.
It's like he had an accident with a snapping turtle.
Right.
Ha ha.
So Mitch McConnell.
The irony is he is a snapping turtle.
Oh, here you go.
No,
Should
look,
Mitch
there he
McConnell
is.
finally retire, and you can see, the likeness between the
The
turtle and
striking
the man
resemblance.
himself. Yeah, plenty of things that are coming
It's
from.
undeniable resemblance there.
I don't know if I can actually. I don't want to get struck off of that, so we're going to move on. Republicans preparing for Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to retire. Again, we just kind of covered the guy, So as far as that goes, they're calling him for him to actually just retire, move on, let somebody else,
RE and then put a tire emoji. RE tire, retire. Just do it.
right.
We'll make a
Washington
nice
passes-
bathtub or a pool for him to swim around in. Anything. Like we can like give him the whatever the snapping turtles eat, like the greens and other different things as well. I mean, like we can make a little habitat. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to be in the sun.
Like you see, so let's just kind of kick it up here, whatever. Again, Senate Bill 5599 out of the state of Washington has passed. This bill allows children to legally be taken from their parents if the parents don't consent to transition. You're like, you don't want to, you go along with what we're allowing them to do. We're going to go after you, and we're going to take your children away from you so they can do what they want.
Yep, because
so-
you're a bad parent for not giving in to their every fucking whim.
Disturbing in itself when you actually think about it. You're just like, oh, really? Okay, that sounds fun.
Disturbing doesn't begin to cover it. Doesn't begin.
It's such a violation of everything.
You're taking kids and just ripping them apart. You're mutilating their bodies, and you're completely messing up their psyche by convincing them that they're something they're not.
And then telling their parent, and then arresting parents,
Yes,
or taking children away from those parents
taking
if they
away
don't
their
comply.
only support system.
Right. If they don't comply, basically with the state.
Isolation. That's the thing. They started by testing us with isolation. Oh, what do they do? 2 weeks locked up by themselves. Look at them. None of them can handle it. They're going nuts. They're cutting off their hair. They're like doing weird TikTok things. They're insane. They have no idea how to handle downtime.
Look.
What?
What? Can you read? Kind of makes you wonder, huh?
Oops.
Really? Oh, you don't say. Oh, what? Another one? Looming,
Well,
huh?
that's the thing. They don't know their parental rights. Most people don't know parental rights until they have a child who needs them to advocate for them. And then you learn real quick what your rights are and what the kids' rights are. And you work with that, and you learn to threaten. Because there's not a school in this country that wants the state to look too close at them. Not one.
Every
That's
parent
like
needs to
hiding
storm
from
the
the
issue.
government.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally.
Yep.
Because
So-
they know they're not doing right.
Last thing for everybody here. Don't forget, Tuesday, taxes are due. Tuesday, April 18th.
My mother
I know.
said you're going to do
Everybody-
my taxes as soon as you came home, right? Bitch. I'm sorry.
But you
how many
got
times did she
until
visit
Tuesday
me in the
anyway.
hospital?
So
Yeah, but like, how many times did she visit me in the hospital? 5 minutes to drop off a laptop. Today's day 13. Fuck you.
So, if you haven't already filled out, you've done your taxes or whatever, don't forget to do so. You do have just a few more days left.
Abolish the IRS.
Yes. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I'm behind you. All the 3 letters. They all suck.
Well, that's all. Never mind. I had one more thing. I actually pulled this aside.
I was just kidding.
But he
I
did
I was
forgot.
just
anything,
kidding,
but
No,
folks.
I forgot the funny that I
you
pushed
fell
to the
for it.
side.
Oh.
Oh, the Biden bumble,
Ah.
where he tries to say conquistador, but he ends up saying corn chips or something.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I was campaigning for president, and I was out in Colorado,
Sure.
and I was with
I don't know if I'd call that a
family
campaign, but
had been, it was a former senator, a man whose family had been in the United States since the conquistadors for generations. And he kept, and there were a whole lot of people standing across a refurbished rail station in in eastern Colorado. And there was literally 10,000 people on the other side of the track waiting to hear me speak. And he kept saying, "Now, Joe, remember, these people are not, these are my people.
by 10,000 he
They're
means
not used to
10.
be taken. You got to show respect and serious." I said, "I understand." And he kept it up. Finally, I turned to him and said, "God's truth, this refurbished train station, okay? It had like linen kind of
And by
wallpaper on
God's
it.
truth, he means the
And
devil's
about
lies.
every 20 feet, there was a brass plaque that saying, 'No Irish allowed.'" I said, "I get it. I get it."
Oh, you do. You get it, huh? No Irish. You understand that? What a weird, strange
That's a
man.
great thing to say to the Irish,
Yeah, like the
Parliament.
Irish voters, of which there are so fucking many. See, that's what they do. They like to pick on the Irish. They like to pick on the immigrants. They like to pick on the Catholics. It's like, do you realize how many of us there are? Like, we are vast. We are many. We are legion. Okay? There's a shitload of us. What are you going to do? Come for the whole friggin' religion? Good luck.
Hey, the Pope in Rome thinks he's great, so hey.
Yeah, but I hate to tell you, most of us Catholics, we go, we got a Pope. He's over there. We don't know what he does. He just changes the rules. We do what we want. Like,
Yeah.
we're fine. There's a difference between being over in Europe where he can see you and over here where you're like, you're never visiting. Our politics don't, go together. Not many popes have been here. You realize that they go to other countries, they do whatever. They don't come here. I
Yep.
think we've had 2, maybe 3, if Padre Pio came over. And Padre Pio was the one with the stigmata.
He wasn't a pope then.
Huh?
He wasn't a pope then.
No. Eventually. Wasn't he a pope eventually? Or they just canonized him because he's a saint? Because of
Yeah,
the
they
stigmata?
canonized him. Yeah.
But he was in, like, the Vatican for a long time. Probably because they just wanted him there.
Gohagen says Joe is every race, probably every gender too.
Yes, he is.
He did say he was Joe Biden or Joe Biden's husband. So I mean, very
Which
true.
we all know that Jill Biden is secretly Alice Cooper, so we can safely assume then several things. Anyway.
Oh my God. I just read your private chat. Jesus Christ.
That's exactly what the one thing actually said that I didn't read off. You're like, "Oh, just read it." And I said, "No, I can't." That's exactly what it said for a headline. Was that.
A little bit of depopulation.
Nothing to see here, folks.
No,
Bill Gates loves you.
The government loves you. They would never jeopardize you, break your heart, break your pocketbook.
Never.
They would never, ever,
ever
go for your autoimmune diseases when you've spent a huge amount of time getting rid of them and taking all the pills that you're supposed to take and everything else. And your life is going good. Then they would never mess with that ever. Especially one that is incurable. Isn't that nice? It either goes away on its own or it's with you for life. Guess which one I got? Oh,
I don't know. I got
well,
nothing.
I ain't getting rid of it. So guess which one I got? I took the doxycycline for over a month. Nothing. Did nothing. I got worse. So it's like whatever. Oh goodness.
Before we do go away, anybody that's out there that's still listening, if you have any questions or thoughts that you'd like to share before we do, please ask them
Do
now.
it.
We'll
Do
give
it.
you a few more moments to actually do so. While you're actually thinking about it, make sure that you hit the like buttons.
Thumbs
If you haven't,
up.
subscribe. Do all the YouTube like stuff, and make
And
sure you do the
rumbly
same.
stuff.
Right, and make sure you do the same thing for AmericaShirts and T3. They both have their own channels. They do their own stuff.
Mine is on Rumble.
Check them out. Right, Shirts is on Rumble.
So
T3 is on both.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which, believe it or not, I don't know why it told me I'm monetized now on Rumble. I was like, oh, I made a penny. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why.
yeah, immediate monetization. That's the fun side of Rumble.
Yep. And it was just like,
And
oh, okay. I don't understand, but whatever.
right.
It's
So
fine.
last night, as I was speaking with Winning Reality afterwards, whatever, for a few hours, I was kind of speaking with him and saying that I was having issues collecting the funding that everybody has greatly appreciated that they've been doing for the last about 6 months. Finally got it to actually work. I was actually able to actually cash out the stuff that had been
Holy shit, that's
yep.
fantastic.
So
On Rumble?
Yeah, on Rumble. I finally got that straightened
Who told you
out.
how?
Myself and Winning were messing around last night.
Oh, all right.
During our conversation, because I brought it up or whatever, and I said, "No, I
That's
know you don't know a
fantastic.
lot about it, but between the two of us talking, I think maybe we can work this, figure something out," and we did. It's great. So yeah.
Winning is sub to America Pants too. He got the whole dang outfit.
Did you make sure that you subscribe to America Hats? Savannah, Georgia 65 says just wanted to stop in and say hello. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello.
Hello.
Hit that like button for me if you can. That would be great. Good to see you.
Hello.
Hey.
Exactly, Winnie. That's how we got him back on YouTube too. Yeah, right. Exactly. It was just one night sitting around with Winnie, and it's like, all right, dude, talk to me. I need to work through this or whatever, and he did. We figured it out and got myself back on YouTube.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And
Again, anybody that has any questions, go ahead and ask your questions before we do leave. We're gonna take off here very shortly. Thank you both for joining me. We will. I don't know what we're doing.
Tomorrow. Well, tonight we're welcoming me the fuck home.
No, right. I mean, right. Exactly. There'll be a welcome home party that's gonna occur today.
It's gonna be on my channel. Come on my channel.
On T3's channel. So make
I
sure
don't
that
know
if
what
you
time.
hadn't, go subscribe.
I think 5:00 and
Yeah, I might be able
ongoing.
to do that.
And, right. I set it up to actually start at that particular time.
Yeah, it's his little brainchild, so that's nice.
It's
a nice little welcome home gift.
There's no saying that that's going to specifically happen at that time. It might be a little late, but check it out anyway. Bring yourself over there, subscribe to the channel, and be ready because we're totally going to do that.
Do it.
Do it. What movie was that? That was actually a movie quote, but anyway. Do it. I want to say it was a Happy Days thing, but it wasn't. Anyway, all right. Well, wrap it up, dude. Wrap it up. Wrap
I
it like
was
a Jimmy.
just being sure that T3 is in the description line down below, so y'all can go down there and you can hit that, subscribe to that, and be ready.
Subscribe.
Be ready. Uh,
He just told you all to go down there and hit that. So I mean,
yep, hit it.
mm,
Uh,
hit it, hit it.
as far as waking up goes, you may see us in the morning for a short bit. I
I
not
doubt it.
really not positive exactly uh, if that
I
will
doubt it.
if that will happen or not. If it doesn't happen, I'll be sure to at least throw something on the community tab for everybody to actually
Yes.
know that I will not be there. If that's the case.
Only
Um,
because I know I have to see the doctor, and he comes in between 7 and 9. So once he's here, that means the litany of the line of nurses will come in to check, and you need this, and you need this, and you need this, and you need that, and da da da. Because they want to make sure I have everything before I go home. Because apparently, nurses that visit that are sent from like home care things, the first one they only observe you and like look at what you need. They look around your house, and then they send people. Like they'll send a homemaker, they'll send like the physical therapist, they'll send the occupational therapist if you need one, speech, which I don't need speech, and I really don't think I need occupational. Um, but they'll send them all, on their own. But when they send you the nurse, she doesn't bring supplies. You have to have the supplies. How the hell am I supposed to come up with supplies for shit I don't know how to treat? I mean, if I knew how to treat it, I wouldn't be in the hospital, would I? So I told my doctor. He was like, "Well, that's weird, but I'll figure it out." I was like, "All right, it's on you, dude. Better you than me." But yeah, so there's going to be a lot of discussion. So I don't know, and that's for everybody who's listening or will listen, because I know y'all do the replay. Um, if you can't get a hold of me tomorrow, I'm not ignoring you. I'm busy with
right,
people that I have to deal with on the spot, full attention.
right,
So,
exactly. Um,
but I am very
it's,
thankful. Somebody sent me some snack money, and she knows who she is, and I thank her very, very much. Oh, fuck it, I'll say it. Cat Ninja. Cat sent me like a nice little gift, as well as over time, like Clumsy has a couple times, and Rabbit has, and it's just you guys really, you didn't have to do that, and it was really sweet that you did. So I thank you very much. But it's up on you, Frog. Come on, we stuck on you, Ribbit. Let's go. Let's go, Frog. Good, good. Frog.
shit. Sorry.
Good, good.
I'm like,
He got more
Tweety News says snacks with a question mark. Um,
snacks. Things to put in my mouth.
right. Um,
Ooh.
I was going to stop by in the night. It was your B day, but the internet went nuts. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're here tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Uh, don't forget to check out AmericaShirts.com.
With the discount code of Koolfrogg, you save 15% on anything in the shirt store. Go check it out.
Question for T3: did you get a male prostitute sent? Feel when in reality. Thank you so much for everybody being here. Don't forget to check out Talking Trash and Truth Sheet.
I
Link is
slept
down
really
in the
hard
description
today,
line.
winning, so I might have. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm sore. I don't know. But I mean, if I find evidence, I'll let you know. Okay. But I love you. I'll be sure if he shows up to send them back to you. I'm sure he likes cats.
All right, y'all. Thank you so very much for being here. Um, we'll talk to you later. Everybody say goodbye.
Later, peeps.
Love you guys. Can't wait to go home.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
That's all, folks.